That's Game 7.
John here with you. I'm going to be joined by Alec Nava in this Game 7 today between the Rangers and the Devils. Let's get him in there right now. It's Mika, Zibanejad, Chris Kreider, Vlad Tarasenko with Ryan Lindgren and Adam Fox, Vinny Trocheck, Alexei Lafreniere, Patrick Kane with Keandre Miller and Jacob Trouba, Filip, Artemi, Panarin and Capocacco, Barclay Goodrow, Jimmy Vesey and Tyler Mott. Igor Shesterkin will be in goal. On the other side for the New Jersey Devils, it sounds like this. Nico, Hischier, Tomas, Tatar, and Jesper Bratt with Jonas, Siegenthaler, and Dougie Hamilton. It's Jack Hughes, Eric Halla, Andre Plot with Ryan Graves and John Marino, Dawson Mercer, Timo Meier, and Jesper Boquist, Michael McLeod, Nathan Bastian, and Curtis Lazar, and Akira Schmid will be in goal for the New Jersey Devils. And again, Alec, as you're just joining in here with me, it's been a punch-counter-punch type of series. And again, I'm ashamed to say this is the first time I've covered a game in this series. I know you've already partaken in a couple of these, but which way do you see it? Because honestly, I don't know which way to lean.
The way I see things is that the Devils had a chance to close out the Rangers in Game 6, but the Rangers, they know when they know what they need to win, they make sure to win it big, and they did so in Game 6. The interesting thing about the Rangers is that they are undefeated in this series whenever they score a power play goal. They lost every game when they don't. And this is the first time ever that a Game 7 between these two teams is played in New Jersey. The last two were at Madison Square Garden. The Rangers won both of these games. So that's some interesting things to think about this. And the Rangers, they are 6-2 in 8 games in the Igor Shesterkin era in elimination games. So they want to make that 7-2. And I think that's what they go right here, with that veteran leadership and experience behind them. But that's not going to be easy considering the Devils are a fast and sneaky team.
What the Devils have to do, Alec, is they've got to find a way to get Nico, Hischier, Tomas, Tatar, Jesper Bratt, and Timo Meier going. Each of them do not have a goal in this series.
They don't, and Meier has been pretty disappointing thus far. He hasn't even had a single point thus far in this series, so as we speak. We'll see if that changes here in Game 7, but man, he has pretty much disappointed.
I know you've been all over this series as far as even picking the road starts and everything else. You said both teams would win both games on the road. You certainly got that right. I think the only argument I can make, I know this is an easy one, but the Rangers' best player, it's been their goaltender, Igor Shesterkin.
Goaltending has been the main story of this series. Not only Igor Shesterkin, but also Akira Schmid. With Schmid stopping and letting in just 2 goals between games 3 through 5, before allowing 5 in Game 6 and then subsequently getting pulled. Which led to Ruff making a tough decision to make heading into Game 7. And he decided to go back to the youngster.
And I think, Alec, I'm just going to take your guess too, but let me know. I think that's probably the right decision. I mean, I know he had a speed bump in there in Game 6, but he's really done nothing in this part to lose the net. Essentially, he's been the best option in goal for the Devils.
He has been, especially after the first 2 games and outing by Vincent Zibanejad throughout these first 2 games. So they decided to go to young man because he's their most trusty goalie, and, you know, goalie of the future plus Mackenzie Blackwood not having the best regular season that he has been. So this was the right call.
So I will say this, if the Devils, and I don't think this is going to happen, but if they go down quickly, let's say 2-0 in the first period, as we're just getting set here for the national anthems, but let's say they get down early 2-0 in the first, do you think that they'd make a quick swipe over to Vanacek?
Who knows, but that's Lindy Ruff's decision. Probably not, but Akira Schmid, he has to prove that he can handle these situations well. This is his first ever Game 7. It's a win or go home type of situation. So I have to see if the young guys can handle this situation well. Not just Schmid, but also guys like Jack Hughes, Nico, Hischier, everyone that has mentioned beforehand, Timo Meier as well. In fact, Meier has been to 2 previous Game 7s. Both of them with San Jose in 2019.
It was good against Vegas, wasn't it, on that side?
Oh, yeah, Vegas. I remember that. And plus, the other one was Colorado, just so people remember.
Yeah, it's absolutely nuts. Even thinking about the game yesterday, and I appreciate you joining us on that side. That the Avalanche, when you think about it, they were what? They lost 5 of their last game 7s. But this is a situation now, like where we are officially closing the first round out today. And dare I say it, this might be one of the best first rounds we've ever had in NHL playoff history. It's been unbelievable.
Especially given what happened in the last 2 days. You see Toronto breaking their curse, you see the Bruins go down, and you see the Avalanche go down, the latter two on the same day. The Bruins had a 43-point advantage in the regular season standings over the Panthers, who won the President's Trophy last year. Most wins and most points all time in a single season. And the Avalanche are defending champs. You would figure that they would have a Game 7 victory under their belt, but they have not won a Game 7 in 21 years.
Oh, I find that incredibly hard to believe, even though that's true. I mean, in fact, that we saw the game yesterday and take a look at it. I mean, Nathan McKinnon was all over the ice, but Philip Grubauer essentially took his save percentage from the regular season and bumped it up about 30 points. I mean, he was unbelievable.
Even sweeter is against his former team in Colorado. David McKinnon was just one offsides away from tying the game up in Game 7.
Yeah, it was absolutely nuts on that side. And when you think about it, too, as Alex said, you have the Maple Leafs breaking through. I know there were some people that thought the Panthers weren't going to be able to do that. I'm not saying that Alec and I didn't pick Boston, but I think we both at least thought that would go 6. I don't know if I would call a 3-1 series lead a collapse because Boston had the lead in pretty much all of those games. It was just a Florida team that wouldn't stop coming back on the offensive end. And you know what? They found a way to score more goals than their opponents. Sometimes it's just that simple. Florida found their way to start playing well. They didn't back into the postseason now. Like they dominated the last couple of months just to get in. And that was an historical move. I mean, as you said, historical season for Boston, but it was the biggest points differential as far as a series victory ever. And Florida is going to play the Maple Leafs.
The two teams that last broke their curses, 26 years for Florida, 19 for Toronto. And you look at Florida coming right back from down 3-1 and to win the series. Who would have thought that? Not me.
No, I know Ian said he picked it. I should have told him to take your money and go to Vegas and cash in because I wouldn't have picked it again. I had 7 of 8 last year. I think I only got about 4 of 8. I picked more upsets and stuff this year, but I mean, come on. When you're thinking about even on the Toronto side for Tampa, we know and we've talked about how much depth they lost, but you figure even a 4-1 deficit in the third period with 10 minutes left to go that Toronto would do that and rally. And John Tavares and the captaincy, that was just a great individual effort. I know you guys called that game. I mean, what did you think when you saw that in real time? He was unbelievable.
It was such a sight to see. And the thing is, this was a series in which Tampa was doing everything right. They were doing everything to win in the series. The fact is, Toronto was persevering. It's about perseverance that Toronto's had in making them work for those chances. Ilya Samsonov had his best game of his career in Game 6 when John Tavares, who won the Islanders their first series since 1993, 7 years ago, he was the hero again this time around.
That's why you pay all those guys the big bucks, and we will see for the Maple Leafs on that end whether Michael Bunting will draw in the lineup and where he's going to be. But it's going to be some star-studded players. I heard something on the social media universe that Florida is trying to disbar any Canadians being able to get tickets. They're trying to limit tickets to the United States as far as outside sales. I don't think that that's the move. In fact, I think that's going to get even more Maple Leafs fans to get tickets and show up at FLA Live Arena.
I mean, it's kind of ironic when you think about it, you know?
It absolutely is. And we're going through the anthems right now. And Alec, I'm just going to go ahead and throw this out there. I'm not going to call this gospel. I will take the Rangers in this Game 7. I think that they might have something big. Give me a 5-2 for the blue shirts. I know they're in the white now, but for the original 6, I'm going to go with the Rangers. What say you?
I'll go Rangers 3-2 with a Chris Kreider game winner in regulation.
You're going to make it a heck of a lot more special than I thought. As you see Martin Brodeur waving the towels, and I was wondering if that was Akira Schmid or Martin Brodeur. because he certainly looked good in the last couple of games.
It has been. And Mark Messier is wearing the Rangers suit at the ESPN studio with Steve Levy and the boys.
So 3-3 in the playoffs with a 1.79 goals against. Hard to believe that would get you 3 losses with Igor Shesterkin. .930 save percentage, 2-0 in Game 7s. But this is do or die. And this is Alex Nava alongside John Ott on that end. And we are going to have a Game 7. We are going to end the first round. I'm going to take the play-by-play. Alex is going to back me up on the color end. If he ever wants to switch, we'll do that as well. Akira Schmid with a 3-1 and a 172 goals against. We're going to be getting on our way here in New York, New Jersey. What's nice about these two teams that meet up with each other is it's pretty much just a quick drive across, and you can go ahead and have fans on both sides. A quick 2-on-1 off the backhand, and Mika Zibanejad was denied from a diving shot block. So already kind of getting underway here early as this game is on ESPN and ESPN only, and what a hit near the left side of the boards as this goes with the Devils. They're going to be going right to left. And now near the right side dot, trying to play this up the back end is Jesper Bratt. He will drive, and here comes a long bomb off the slap shot. This will be kept in and near the blue line side of John Marino as the Rangers will try to get this out. Adam Fox will take a look at it. Again, Nico Hischier, we talked about Bratt and all the other players there alongside Tomas, Tatar. A lot of them don't have any goals. Timo Meyer as well. They're going to need anybody to break out. Hamilton fires one high just to the left side of the crossbar, and the Devils are doing a good job of moving this puck around the net. They like to work it behind the office of Shesterkin and make good passes in tight. We've seen that during the regular season game that Alec and I covered between New Jersey and Colorado. So I know what New Jersey's strategies are. We're just going to see if they can beat Igor Shesterkin, who's still one of the best, as this is picked up now by the Devils. Now on the high slot, trying to play this up the back end, throw it to Dougie Hamilton into the traffic there for Eric Halla. And this is still with the Devils now. This gets intercepted by the captaincy and Jacob Trouba and play back to Keandre Miller. They're usually on that second line side as this is recollected across the red line. Andre Palat now will pick this up across the blue. Palat has it now in between the red line, and he'll pass this back to his defense. About 18-15 left to go in the first. Panarin going to take his first look in the bench. Here comes the slap shot, and that's wide to the right side of the wall. This is sent down the other way. Severson trying to hold it in. But now the Rangers will have it. It's a chance for Trouba as he'll flip this one across. And now it's Patrick Kane, number 88. Still not used to seeing him in a New York Rangers jersey. You kind of wonder for how long, though. It could just be a rental for the year. Kane will shovel it in an open area for Nico Mikkola, and he will attack. And so get on the forecheck, almost try to provide a screen as 88's going to get this one back. He will spin it back to the left side of the wall. As this will go back to the Rangers before it gets lifted by the Devils, just in through the neutral zone. So 17:35 left to go in the first. We're still waiting for a shot to actually hit the net. Now Nico Mikkola gets the first one as it hits the glove of Schmid. And now a diving play the other way. I think that was VC that just got spun all the way around. And are we going to get a call on the ice is the question. I think it might be Tyler Mott that was spun around.
Yeah, I believe there's going to be a bounty on New Jersey here. But a big reason why New Jersey got after John Marino is for defensive plays like this. You got a 2-on-1 early on. Knows that Mika Zibanejad was going to either shoot or pass it across. Marino knew about this, and he pokes the puck away right at the moment he was going to either shoot or pass. Now you look at this bounty block. Yeah, that was Nate Bastian that was tripping him up. That was with the feet. He tried to avoid the contact, tried to cut on around, but still. Drawing the penalty, never a bad thing if you're the Rangers.
And as you said, when the Rangers get a power play goal, they win a game in this series. They're going to try to win this game 7. It's Tarasenko now for Fox. And Fox has it in the high slot here for Vlad. Vlad will get it across here for Mika as this goes across the left side of the wall. Spun around by Chris Kreider. Breadman's got it now with Artemi Panarin. We'll send this back around for Mika Zibanejad. Try to move this around with the backhand as we're in the middle of this Game 7, 17 minutes left to go in the first. Is really just underway here in New Jersey. And a nice play for Dawson Mercer. And this is a slow backhand, but a credit to him to be able to beat 3 Rangers. And now we're getting another penalty call. This one's going to go against New York.
Oh, bad timing to kill off the penalty there. Just 33 seconds in, but Nico Hischier with a great A chance to get the game's first goal short-handed as well. And the fans are on their feet as Hischier was driving right to the net, going on his backhand. Adam Fox tried to cut that one off with the stick lift. Yet I felt that was a slash or a hook, but just Hischier at the last moment, just as he was about to stuff that in.
Yeah, he got as much of a bear hug hold as he could get on that side. So it's going to be 127 of the 4-on-4, and then it'll be an abbreviated power play for the Devils. But we'll see who's going to be able to take advantage of that, as this is backhanded by K'Andre Miller. It's stolen. Again, this is a 4-on-4. This is an opportunity here for the Devils. Great windmill move in traffic behind the net. What a play by Hughes, but he got absolutely sandblasted the other way. And now this is picked up by Jonas Siegenthaler. Send this back in deep here for the Rangers with Jacob Trouba. And Hughes has got to be feeling the after effects of that hit. But man, this kid's special, especially way over 100 points already. And now Mika Zibanejad. Again, maybe just missed it at 99. As Zibanejad will flip this in and be recollected now by the Devils. 40 seconds left to go on the 4-on-4. It's Damon Severson. Take this pass across, and the Devils will try to get their forward set up. I see Tomas Tatar out there with Eric Holland. They'll play this embankment off the right side wall, and here's Tatar, the former Red one, as they'll drop this across. Again, he was with the Golden Knights, but that didn't happen for very long. Now she's going to probably be happy to be here with New Jersey. He's playing in a critical Game 7 between these two teams, and honestly, I didn't think this series would go that far. New Jersey really trying to play this 4-on-4 like an overtime regular season 3-on-3 right now. Make a very controlled breakout. Speeding down to the neutral zone, backhanded move again, and that one was brushed aside by Igor Shesterkin, and we will take this again across the Devils logo, so that's going to take all of a 4-on-4 away. Now New Jersey's power play will be 30 seconds. They've had this puck the entire time. Here's the captaincy and Nico Hischier. Here's a sauce pass for Jesper Bratt, and this is flipped down the ice by the Rangers with 15:10 left to go in the first period. Drawn here within the play-by-play, being joined by Alec Nava as we take in this Game 7 on ESPN. This is the last of the first round. As Hughes plays this across for Hischier. He will stop near the right side of the wall. And Jesper Bratt wanted to get to the puck, but it was nicely intercepted by the Rangers and then sticked away by Barclay Goodrow. As Hischier will send this back across for Jonas Siegenthaler. We return to full strength. So, Alec, I see this right now. The New Jersey Devils, they want this puck possession, and they're trying to play keep away, as this is a chance that is just sticked away. K'Andre Miller will try to get to it and recollected here by Filip. Here's a bank pass that will bounce off of Wood and sent back down the ice. This will not be iced. This will be an opportunity for K'Andre Miller to survey and like what he sees is it's 3-1. And now Chytil will get across the Devils logo off the windmill, and he gets bumped. It's Severson trying to get this one. Mercer and Plot run together into each other, and this will just be gloved down. Grab with the hand of Adam Fox, and now you got Lindgren and Fox. Lindgren is not one of those guys. Miller's out there right now, but I will say this with Lindgren. He's not one of those guys that get a lot of points, but he is someone that's going to be very sacrificial with these shot blocks and provide all that defense. And when you do have Fox and Lindgren out there, one guy's going to control the defensive side, and one guy's going to carry that point. As this is spun around away from Tarasenko. Now Schmid will make this pass across as it's recollected now by Graves, who will dump it in. And Mika will flip it around now for the Rangers. We'll get this one to Vlad. Again, he was the pickup from the St. Louis Blues. He got knocked out in front of the referee. He wanted a tripping call. He's not going to get one as this is dumped in now by the Devils. We've got some continuous action. Not all of it's been action, though. It's just been puck possession here for the Devils as Jesper Bratt made a nice move around 3 different Rangers, but he lost the puck in the offensive end as K'Andre Miller Trocheck would spin and turn. Again, his Carolina Hurricanes are in the postseason. They're waiting for a second round, and that is between the Rangers and New Jersey, where he's on right now with the Rangers, as it's Tomas Tatar. And the high slot. Here comes the pass across. The shot gets blocked by the Rangers and kept in. Alexei Lafreniere, watch this tip go by Hamilton with one at the doorstep. Shesterkin made 2 pretty good saves there, and now this is turned over. The Rangers are fumbling all over themselves. A chance in the slot. Tatar trying to provide the screen as Devils keep it in. Siegenthaler did a good job of that. This one goes wide to the right side wall and past Hischier all the way back down the ice. And this will go back to the Devils once again, Alec. They've looked really good so far in this first. Get a word in.
Oh, yeah, they have been. Countless zone pressure by the Devils throughout this game. They're just playing keep away from the Rangers here early on.
10 shots to 1 right now on the shot attempts as this is flipped down into the neutral zone. It'll be a race for the puck. It's the 4th line of VC. VC now beats the race there for Damon Severson. This goes off Jim's stick, and this will be picked off now toward the right side of the boards, cleared in and out. And this is going to be an opportunity now for the Devils. A huge rebound, But if it doesn't go the way of the Devils, that would have been a 1-0 contest. As we're going to get some full sale line changes here. Timo Meier off the drop for Dawson. And this will go back now for Shesterkin. He will flip this across. 40 in the regular season, a career high. No goals in the series for Timo Meier. And that's certainly not what they traded all that haul for. He needs to get some production, especially in this Game 7. They have time for that. Hughes, stutter step. Now near the left side of the dot. As this goes back around, Siegenthaler will take a look at it. Now it's Holla toward the right side of the wall. But you want to Siegenthaler trying to poke this ahead alongside Andre Palat. And this will just go into the defensive end of the Rangers. This is just kept in. Lindgren trying to find it now. Same thing with a host of Rangers. This is all Devils right now with the puck possession. And it just feels like the Rangers are about to concede here. If this continues, here's a chance toward the right side. This is saved by the pad of Shesterkin. And maybe, again, I know I got 4 eyes, but maybe there's 7 Devils on the ice to the 5 that we see because they're just dominating. Here are the Devils again with Hughes off the drop pass near the left side wall, trying to get this one to Holla. And the Rangers will just flip it out of a jumping New Jersey Devils, and we finally get a stoppage with 10:50. My goodness.
That felt like, as you said, 7 Devils out on the ice opposed to the Rangers 5. And the Rangers, they're like hoping that they can get a chance sometimes, but the Devils would not let them. They would not let them because Igor Shesterkin is getting hammered left and right with countless shot after shot after shots. He's just stopping everything sharp on his game, but he needs to have the offense right in front of him. They got to wake up here.
Yeah, they do. And you could definitely play that Little John song as far as the shots are concerned, as you're talking about on that side, because this has been all over the place. Again, this is the first time that I've covered in as far as this series, and it's definitely not an eye-opener to see why the Devils have already taken 3 in this series. I guess the only eye-opener part of it I can say is that New Jersey is pounding the Rangers right now. When you look at the personnel the Rangers have on the ice, I understand how good New Jersey is, and we've seen this all year, but still, I mean, that's shocking because when you have guys like Zibanejad, Kreider, Tarasenko, Trocheck, Lafreniere, Kane, top 6 forwards like that, and you just get punched in the mouth with opportunities, that's pretty good on New Jersey's part.
They managed to find a way to slow the Rangers down, just like they did in games 3 through 5. And that's the way that they're going with here, that the Devils could win this game. Not saying that the Rangers are going to lose because I have the Rangers winning, but the Rangers have to find a way to counter the Devils' speed and the defensive scheming that Lindy Ruff has for his team.
Absolutely. Nailed it on that side. And again, we'll just forecast because one of these teams has to win it. But you imagine on the side of the Canes, that's going to be tough even for the Carolina Hurricanes. We know how good of a defensive team they are, but let's say New Jersey takes maybe 80% of what they're doing right now to the Rangers, to the Carolina Hurricanes. I mean, you could see New Jersey essentially coming out of the East if they can get out of this.
Granted that they face either one of Toronto or Florida in the conference final, they beat the Hurricanes later on, then New Jersey may have a legitimate argument to represent the East in the Stanley Cup final, but who knows?
Yeah, I know people are saying that it's wide open and it's an easier road now that the Boston Bruins aren't there, but I think, Alec, you've covered enough of these games, and I've covered a few of these as well to be able to say that don't sleep on the Eastern Conference with the rest. If you're not just talking about the Bruins, you got to talk about everybody else because this has been a fantastic round 1. This is down near the right side of the post as Jesper Bratt will pick it up, and now it's Jacob Trouba. We'll flip it around. This will go into the players' bench. I don't believe it's going to be a penalty with 10:18 in the first.
You say if it's not a penalty, then that means it's going to the players' bench. The way it is a penalty is that it goes over the glass and out to the stands. So this is not going to be a penalty on Trouba. The thing is the disparity between the Game 7 experience between the Rangers and Devils. The Rangers have 50 guys playing 50 games worth of Game 7 experience among 17 players. The Devils, 18 among 9 players. Andre Palat leading the way for New Jersey, Chris Kreider for New York.
Yeah, and you absolutely called it on that side, but you wouldn't know it compared to what we've seen here from the first half of this first period as it's still scoreless. And now 6-1 are the Rangers when facing elimination. They're certainly going to have to find a gear as Fox will dump this in across the red line. This is some trouble here for Akira Schmid, and this will get picked up now by Holla and now sent across the blue line. Now and across the red, well, this will fall back. 2 of the Rangers now. Send this pass across from D to D, and now Lindgren with the outstretch. Just a flipping in over end puck. Gotta be careful over there as it goes out of play with 9:45.
As that puck got tipped out of play right over the glass, you wonder if these guys are going to rise up to the occasion, especially the guys who previously played in a game 7 before. Chris Kreider has the most goals for among players who play in elimination in Rangers history, by the way.
That's incredible considering it's an original 6 franchise, and the way that Chris Kreider ranks in those playoff ranks is absolutely incredible. We are going to take another commercial break, and the reason why we're going to do it so soon is because we had about 6.5 minutes in which we had nonstop action. So we get a chance to recollect our thoughts here, Alec. And what are you seeing right now through the first half of this first?
I see a young Devils team that's hungry to take this. They're trying to control the pace of play, which they are to perfection. They're putting the pressure on Igor Shesterkin and the Rangers defense early, which they are doing right now. Well, I see the Rangers doing things. They're holding up on the defensive end. Now we need to see if they can counter with the offensive pressure the Devils have put on them right the other side. That's not happening so far. That early 2-on-1, though, was their best chance. Though it was broken up by John Marino, that was still their best chance of this game so far.
Yes, it was. And now officially I'm taking a look at the ESPN box part of it. You know, we had about 12 shot attempts to 1 on that side. I would say about the 15-minute mark. Officially shots on goal markers 7-1. The hits are 5-3 for the Rangers, and the faceups are 3-2 for the Rangers. But it's all opportunities right now for the Devils as we are looking at some 1994 highlights. You know, we were going to see this, Alec, on this side. These are two teams that don't like each other. They know each other very well, and I'm really looking forward to this Game 7.
Yeah, they know each other very well. And you look back at the most notable times that they met. Of course, they're going to show the 1994 highlight of Stefan Matteau's double overtime winner. Plus, if you remember Game 6, that's when Mark Messier had his guarantee and the hat trick in the third period. Then 2012, that's when the Devils won it. Adam Henry had the winner there in overtime, Game 6.
Yeah, there's a lot of storied history there, and it's crazy when you can call it and then also get a hat trick. No penalty on the other end against Dawson Mercer. He got taken down. Okay, so here we go here with Mika. They'll play this off the backhand now. I think ESPN lost part of their broadcast, but we'll be able to give this to you because we can see on the TV side at least. This is centered across down to the left side dot. This is played across the right side wall. Panarin will send this here for Mika. Now, Redman will try to pick this one back up near the right side of the red line. He'll flip it here for Braden Schneider. Again, he's not going to play too much on that bottom part for the bottom 6 defense, but Panarin, nice toe drag ahead, and here's a rebound. She was able to brush it away as this goes near the left side of the crease. And now skating the other way are the New Jersey Devils. It's a 1-on-3 trying to get a chip and chase, but no problem here for the Rangers as this be picked up here by the backhand of the captaincy and Jacob Trouba. Rangers still try to work with this right now as they keep profiling Timo Meier. 27 shots on goal, 55 attempts, no points. Again, they're going to hammer that home as much as they can. Severson, this is way up in the air as this goes back to Jimmy Vesey and now spun back around. It just feels like the Rangers have been stuck in their own end for this entire period, and that is not an exaggeration as this is near the left side of the wall. All it takes, though, is one counterattack as Vesey tries to get this now. Tyler Mott making some effort, and it's a tripping call against the Devils.
Yeah, clear as day. Got him with the stick as Tyler Mott was trying to drive to the bench. Clear penalty.
So, again, Alex says it, and I say it too. That was definitely a clear penalty. This will be a second power play opportunity technically for the Rangers, but Alec, they lost theirs in about 15 seconds, and they got to make sure they can get this full 2 minutes.
That's the emphasis of staying disciplined. You do not want to take penalties on a power play. As I believe it was Michael McClellan, or that was Damon Severson, who was the one taking the penalty as he tripped up Tyler Mott driving to the net, or what would have been the Rangers' third shot on goal.
So 8-10 thereabouts left to go in the first, drawn out here alongside Alec Nava. This is a Game 7 in between the Devils and the Rangers. We are waiting to see who Carolina Hurricanes' opponent's going to be. Everybody else is locked in. This is the final day that it can go in round 1. Big bomb for Zibanejad. That goes way wide of the left side of the post, and now Panarin high off the inboards here for Adam Fox. And the high slide, he shoots into the traffic. That was blocked up high in the chest. They have one of the Devils. And now a big cross check the other way. That was the same guy that got hit in the chest with a puck. As this is sent back around. And Devils will try to flip this out of the inboards. It goes off because of Zibanejad's kidney. And now this goes the other way here for Panarin. Near the right side in the high slot, it's Fox. Panarin trying to get in front of the net down low with Chris Kreider. As this goes back to Artemi. And then sent back around. John Marino. I think he was the one that's been taking the punishment because of Zibanejad. Saw a flip. Adam Fox walks in. He wants to shoot. Now he's in the left side. Dot still with it behind the net. Zibanejad touch pass Tarasenko. And that shot went wide. Here's Fox between the legs for Tarasenko. And now Panarin will settle it down. Fox. Zibanejad, what a stop by Schmid.
Oh, my. Yeah, he flashed a letter on that one. You talk about sustained pressure. The emphasis of sustained pressure. That's what the Devils have been doing throughout the majority of this first period. I was waiting when this was going to show for the Rangers, and boy, they were in the zone for what seemed like the entire power play. The Devils couldn't even clear this out. They were stuck in their own end the same way the Rangers were beforehand and even strength. What a stop by Gerard Schmidt, though.
Absolutely. It's gone both ways. The Rangers look like a different team when they're on the power play. You got to see a lot of that last year. And a lot of that started last year in the sense of the Tampa Bay Lightning when they took a 2-0 series lead before they lost the next 4 games. Now they're trying to get out of a 7-game series in the first round against the Devils. It's kind of a shame that one of these teams after this is going to have to go home because we see really good players on both sides, teams that we know are going to be back, as this is picked up now for Shesterkin. And now Jacob Trouba, the captaincy, will leave this here for Patty Kane. And near the left side, he will get the left-hand clear inside Jonas Siegenthaler, trying to get around Vincent Trocheck. As this is picked up now, Siegenthaler trying to kiss this off the glass. And this is sent all the way back down the ice. This is Shesterkin. And now for Trouba. The towels are waving here at the Prudential Center. They know that that was a monumental kill here early. 6 minutes in the first. K'Andre Miller's snapper goes up and on a play with 6:03.
Yeah, that went off the skate of Ryan Graves and up out. Was trying to rip one through at the high slot, and K'Andre Miller, who scored his first career playoff goal last year in a Game 7, by the way, as that shot previously it went off the skate of Mike Matheson and in. Boy, I don't want to even think about that.
Yeah, he's got a propensity for some heroics, doesn't he? Alec on that side, K'Andre Miller. We'll have to take a look and follow that and see if that will continue. Again, we're scoreless here in the first with tons of time left. Barclay Goodrow will send this back now here for Meyer. And Meyer will flip this up. And did this get touched off a Ranger? They might take a look at it, but this might be a penalty against the Devils for a delayed game over the glass.
We might take a look at this, but I think Kevin Ball is going to the box and let's need a call from Cord Dwyer.
This is not even going to be reviewed. This is directly over the box. And the Rangers, they just look good, Alec, and now they get another opportunity as we're going to be going to commercial break first. But you're right. A clear off the glass of ball. No problem, no call. And this is going to be the Rangers again, and they will go back to the power play.
Continuing to sustain pressure that they left off in that first power play opportunity. We'll see if they can get more of this and if they can get rewarded for it.
Yeah, they certainly look good on that second opportunity. Again, officially, it was 31 seconds for the first before they took a penalty. So we will give you the penalty reset. I think everything is good here on the ESPN box. So it was, I'll just do this in order, Nathan Bastian for tripping against Tyler Mott, Adam Fox got called for a hold against Hischier, and then Severson on Mott, and Kevin Ball delay game puck over the glass. So good job, Tyler Mott. He's already drawn a couple penalties in this game.
That's why you got him back in the trade deadline, for his ability to draw penalties, especially in situations like these. This time he spent the first half of the season in Ottawa, not Vancouver. Now he's back in the Rangers with the number 14 instead of the 64 that Vancouver's used to. But still, different jersey number, same type of player that you're getting.
Yeah, you know what you're going to get from him as a bottom six forward. You're going to get somebody that's going to be very gritty and be able to get to the net and do the dirty things. And that's what you're going to have. I mean, you're going to separate the kid line as much as you can because you have the top trades of Tarasenko and Kane, but you have the guys in the bottom six that you know that you can trust, as Emily Kaplan is interviewing Gerard Gallant, again, the former Vegas coach as well. I know it was a long-time Red Wing a long time ago, before my time, as it was Kevin Ball who was in the box for shooting the puck over the glass in a delay of game. 5:58 left to go in this scoreless first. The Rangers' power play is just one of their last 19. But if they keep doing it like they did in the second power play, you feel like that's going to have to change, Alec.
Yeah, you feel like it's going to have to change, and then finally they can find it back in the net, just like they did in Game 6 at the tail end of that first period.
So Fox here from Tarasenko now. And the high slot is it's Panarin. This will go back to the Norris Trophy candidate, and Adam Fox can do that every year. Here's a great cross pass, but somehow this got blocked by the Devils and got denied against Kreider. And now Zibanejad plays this off the boards, trying to backhand this one to Tarasenko, shoveled toward the net. Fox will keep it in, and now he'll be patient off a couple of stick blades. Panarin, here's the bomb for Zibanejad. They love to set him up just like Alex Ovechkin of the Caps. That one was saved with the glove about 90 miles an hour. As this is sent the other way, Marino trying to get this out, and he does. He sends it all the way back here for Igor Shesterkin. And now Mika Zibanejad back out there looking to get started again from right to left. Are the Rangers. Zibanejad in full flight. This will be a dump in. Chris Kreider will be the first to get to it. Send this around the right side of the red line. Now Panarin will wrap this all the way around the horn because Zibanejad. Zibanejad touch the Tarasenko, and this will go near the right side wall. Panarin gets stick lifted. And now the Devils. Arakawa, a great job getting this to the neutral zone, but it's recollected by Panarin. Trying to look for Fox, and now it's Patty Kane off the backhand. This is a one-touch for Kreider. Goes back to Zibanejad now. And the high slide here for Kane. He likes to walk in and shoot, and this one gets blocked. And it can't be over the blue line. This can't be held in by Fox. And this will be picked up now by Adam, though, as he continues to stay patient and get offensive personnel changes here with Vincent Trocheck. Now Trocheck here for Kane. Lost it near the left side of the wall. Devils, I know they're on the end of this penalty kill. They might be a little bit tired, but they're still going to try to chase just a bit as this goes from Trouba here for Keandre Miller. Plays this in off the wall. Intercepted by the Devils now. This will flip it in just wide of the right side of the red line. There's about 4 minutes left to go in this fast-moving first period. It's Patrick Kane, and make it 1 for 20 now in this series on the Rangers' power play. Absolutely unbelievable considering what they can do. But this will be with the Rangers now and Jacob Trouba. Trouba still with it. He's been with it about 20 seconds, and he'll flip this in across the red one. Well, this will find Kira Schmidt. Wrap this back around for Mott. And he was able to steal that one rather easily, as this will be the Devils now and Jack Hughes. Jack Hughes, he can make some plays. Here's a hopeful sauce pass. It's gloved down by Tatar. And this is blocked. Here's a bouncing puck picked up by the bread man. Artemi Panarin off the drop pass. Doesn't find anybody but New Jersey. Can quickly take this the other way for a break. Backhand big stop by Shesterkin. He made that look too easy, though. This is sent to the net near the right side dot. Dougie Hamilton's opportunity gets blocked. Again, that was a humongous save, but Shesterkin made it look like another day at the office. 3 minutes left to go in the first as this is flipped. Just taken away from Tatar. He's going to go back. Can Tyler Mott actually get a stick on it? This will go to the Devils now. And go to Nico Mikola. Mikola now with a stretch pass into the neutral zone. Here's Mott. He's looked pretty good on this bottom six forward side, as we talked about. Tatar gets stick lifted. There's still a stick on the ice near the right side dot, as this is fired from a severe angle. Sent back around by Mikola. And now centered out in front and wide. That was a good opportunity in the middle of the slot. 2:25 left to go in the first. Devils look to settle this down. Got to get away from that stick, though. And now the Rangers have started to get closer on the shot board. It was 7-1 about 10 minutes ago. Now it's 8-5. And a lot of that's been power play time. Devils fan on an attempt to clear, and the camera doesn't track the puck as this is still here with Siegenthaler. And now he will continue to hold. Now he's going to try to skate in toward the red line. He got close enough, but they're going to give him the amnesty and not call an icing, as this is Miller. Plays this in off the window. And now Chris Kreider has it. As he'll send this one across off a stretch pass. Kreider's going to walk right into this puck. It's because Zibanejad trying to get it back to Kreider, but he got taken away from it. He wasn't in the area. Now Keandre Miller off the step there. Here's a drop for Vlad, and that's right into the catching glove of Schmid as we get some pushing and shoving in front of the net.
You can make the argument that Tyler Vaughn has been the best scorer for the Rangers so far in Game 7. The hard work that he has put up, drawing 2 penalties so far, and he nearly got rewarded with the game's first goal on a one-timer right at the middle of the slot. He almost got rewarded for it. Meanwhile, Igor Shesterkin made what is so far their biggest save of the first period on Jack Hughes' breakaway. Made it look like it was nothing.
That's what really impressed me, and I tried to call that in real time there, Alec, and I think he hit the nail on the head. I'm trying to go for that. I mean, it's Jack Hughes. He scored on penalty shots. He scores on breakaways, make it look easy, but it just looked like it was just a standard NHL player right there on a breakaway that had no hope of beating a wall. As this is picked up now near the right side. It's Patty Kane off the outside of the cage, and now 9 for 20 on breakaways is Jack Hughes. That's an incredible percentage considering what he's been up against. Here's Kane with a beautiful backhand. There's a sauce out front. This will be dropped for Mika. He fakes an extra pass, and that's a good save by Schmid because that happened quickly.
Yeah, he got that one quickly, especially since it was from an impossible angle for Patty Kane. He's been in these situations before, so he has been here 5 times before. This is his 6th career Game 7. The previous 5 came in Chicago, and he knows these situations quite well, and he's very familiar with them.
So, Alec, let me throw this out there. We know that Patrick Kane is not what he once was, but, I mean, you put him on this Rangers lineup, you feel like he could be one of these guys that can absolutely be a Game 7 hero, correct?
Yep, he can be.
As this is near the left side of the red line, this will be sent back now for Schneider as we got the third line defense out there for a Gerard Gallant squad, and now recollected off the backhand. Severson will take a look as the Rangers just hold this in. We're down to a minute left to go in the first as this is recollected now. Marino will backhand this out. One of the Rangers falls down. Here's a 1-on-2. Drop pass, middle of the slot. That was an extra pass for Hischier. He didn't need to make. Should have walked right in and shoot it. Is this what his chance now for Marino? Maybe this will give the Rangers the check up here. Is this a deflected shot? This goes wide. And now the Devils will have it, though. With 30 seconds thereabouts left to go in the first. This gets flipped up and out of play. And I think if Hischier had a chance to do that all over again, he would just walk right in the middle of the slot and shoot it. He was right there. It's a chance for Devils now with offensive personnel changes. Oh, my goodness. Hughes gets some air. As this goes back the other way, Palat gets crunched. Here's a chance now for the Devils, and Hughes is right back up trying to make something happen. That'll definitely look like Shark Week as this is sent the other way into the neutral zone, flipped it across the red line. That's going to end the first period. It's 0-0.
Not what Jack Hughes had in mind for Game 7. First a stop breakaway, and then he takes a spill like that. Something has to turn around here for both of these offenses because they're both a combined 0 for 4 when you include their 33-second stints in their first power play opportunities. Technically so when you're speaking because the Devils had just 33 seconds of power play time, but still, it's just back and forth defensive action for both of these teams, and they're holding up low, both of these goalies.
Yeah, they are. And again, when we're looking across, I'm just going through the names here on both of these rosters because I'm right there with you on that side for Tyler Mott. He'd be the number 1 for the Rangers. If I'm trying to pick maybe a number 1 here for the Devils, it seems kind of hard a little bit to do so. I know they've had a lot of puck possession to start, but I really think, again, as we profile from the beginning, I'll just throw the names out there again. Hischier, Tatar, Bratt, Meyer, they all don't have a goal in this series. You think if the Devils can get one of them to score, they would have a good chance to be able to take this Game 7, but you never know who's going to be the hero. I'll go back to this again in the first. I know this was a small highlight, but it was a Hughes breakaway, and that's a Shesterkin stop. Again, I understand that's going to be over the highlights, but, I mean, he made it look like a playground save. That's crazy.
He definitely did. He had straight up close the door right on 5-hole. Made it look like it was absolutely nothing. Just like prime Andre Vasilevsky would stop breakaways left and right.
Absolutely. And now we can take a look at, and I'm just going to throw this out there. I have to make sure that I get back to this NHL box score, but let's just forecast it for the next round and what we like What are you looking forward to in the next round for the matchups that we know are in front of us?
The interesting thing about the 3 of the 4 matchups that are about to happen next round is that those 3 of the 4 matchups will be the first time that they have happened. Dallas and Seattle for the first time, Vegas and Edmonton for the first time, and Toronto and Florida for the first time. The only one that's not happening for the first time is the Carolina series. The last time New Jersey faced Carolina was 2009. And the Rangers, the last time they faced the Hurricanes, was last year's second round. That's the only matchup that hasn't happened first time. So we'll have to tune in for this one, if by any chance. But if you're looking at matchups that intrigue me, how about the Vegas and Edmonton series? We get the top 2 picks of the 2015 draft in Connor McDavid and Jack Eichel against each other. And while it's not a comparison anymore, this should be exciting considering Vegas' defense and goaltending and Edmonton's explosive offense.
Again, that's why we have you on the broadcast, Alec, because you're the one that always does your homework and you come prepared. That's why I love working with you. On that side, I'm going to talk to your back end point in between Vegas and Edmonton, and I'm going to admit something here on this broadcast. I try not to go into any bias, but I definitely feel like over the last couple of seasons, I've been slanted in thinking that Edmonton is not good enough to be able to get the job done, especially when the door got completely closed last year against the eventual Stanley Cup champion Colorado Avalanche. But at the same time, when I mentioned that, I also, again, picked the Jets over the Golden Knights. I understand how hurt the Jets got. They didn't really have a chance. But this is a good opportunity, as you talk about with Vegas and their defensive propensity, to see how that matches up against the best offense historically we've ever seen, especially on the power play. Again, you profile Eichel and McDavid for good reason. I want to see how Chandler Stevenson's going to try to match up against Leon Draisaitl or Ryan Nugent-Hopkins or Zach Hyman, because it seems like everybody, no matter what you roll out on the Vegas side, don't they feel like they're similar to Seattle? And the fact that you can roll out all 4 lines, everybody plays the same way, and you know what they're going to do. And here's another good one for me on that side. When you're thinking about Laurent Brossoit against Stuart Skinner, who's got the edge in that matchup? Because I really got to give Brossoit credit. He was excellent in the first round.
Yeah, I'll give Brossoit his fair share of credit. He was lights out against the Winnipeg team that I thought was going to pull off the upset. But in the end, injuries were decimated Winnipeg in the end. But Brossoit, he stood on his head in Game 5. He didn't give up the first goal until it was already too little too late for Winnipeg. And that is huge for a Vegas team that I thought what I was concerned about on the offensive side of things and the goaltending. If you speak of the goaltending, no Logan Thompson, and Aiden Hill has just came back. Jonathan Quick is at the tail end of his career, and it's not known if he's going to retire after this season. Brossoit step up like this is an accomplishment in itself. And you speak about Vegas being able to roll out all 4 lines, is a testament to how deep they are. They didn't embrace the star power. They didn't embrace the chasing after the star power or trade deadline a maneuver that they did in the past with Mark Stone, and going after the stars, Mark Stone, Alex Pietrangelo, Jack Eichel. That's not what they did this season. Even though they lost Max Pacioretty and Evgeny Dadonov, it's the depth that they chose to go with. They went after Ivan Barbashev. That's a good move in itself. Ben Hutton has stepped up and relied upon. Good acquisition in itself. Plus, Teddy Bluger, even though his offensive game has fallen off, his defense is still there. A solid move in itself. So Vegas knows that they can rely on guys up and down the lineup. And you mentioned Chandler Stevenson, who should be the series MVP against Winnipeg for Vegas, in my opinion. You also have rookies that can do the job like Paul Cotter and Pablo Dorfeyev as well.
You know, you hit all those, Alec, and I'm telling you, for the ones that end up listening to this later, or however you end up getting on the YouTube side, Chandler Stevenson, I'm not going to call him a superstar, but I would say he's got to be the most underrated player in the NHL. He's also the top face-off guy, and he can do everything you need.
And he's pretty much the most complete player in the Western Conference right now, because he can get you face-off wins, he can get you in all types of situations, power play, penalty kill, you name it. He's been so reliable for them.
So let's just preview these other series now that we're away from it. Obviously, we can't preview the Carolina one because we're waiting to see who wins between the Rangers and Devils. But we'll mix it in between the East. I'm going to leave the Kraken and Stars for last. But the Panthers and the Maple Leafs, we know what the Maple Leafs were chanting. Again, you covered that one on that side. We want Florida. Well, now they got Florida. And I'm just going to throw this out there, Alec, before I let you have your thoughts. I would be careful what you wish for because Florida did a pretty good job against Boston.
Yeah, and even though they may have gotten their wish and not facing their boogeyman, being careful of Florida. That's what I'm also gonna add on here, John. As you said, because Florida, they show they are no slouches. They just pulled off the biggest upset in NHL history, down by 43 points in the standings against the Bruins, and they came back from 3-1 to win that series in overtime. And they come into the series. This is not a team that's just happy to be here. They came to play, and they just came off their biggest accomplishment in franchise history, and facing up against a Leafs team that also broke their curse just recently. This one's going to be tough. Maybe Florida pushes it to 6 or 7, but in the end, I feel it's the Leafs that take this one. They look to make the conference finals for the first time in 21 years, by the way. If you remember, when Max Sundin had that tying goal in Game 6, and the Leafs, Kyle Dubas didn't make all those moves at the deadline for no reason.
Right.
He wanted to load up a one last chance on a deep run, and he's now getting his wish at the second round. Just one more round, and you already find yourselves playing with house money.
You know what? On that side, when you're giving me all those points and I'm thinking about predictions in the back of my head of what I want to take, I'm going to go right there with you. I'm going to go Maple Leafs in 7. I took Maple Leafs in 7 in the first round. They ended up getting pretty far on that side before they took out the Lightning. I'm going to give the Panthers all the credit in the world. Again, I said Panthers and Bruins. I said Bruins in 6. I think the Panthers would do enough. Not only did they do enough, they beat Boston. And I feel that they're going to have all the confidence in the world going against us. I'm going to be salivating at the fact we get to see Austin Matthews against Matthew Tkachuk and Carter Verhaeghe and Brandon Montour. I mean, my goodness, Brandon Montour alongside Tkachuk, you could throw him as an MVP because as we talked about it yesterday a little bit with the Mackenzie Weegar loss, and he stepped right in and said, I could be a top-tier defensive player, no problem, and that's going to be a lot of fun. I just wonder how the goaltending is going to go. Is it going to still be Big Bob against Samsonov on that end? And who's going to win that matchup?
I feel Samsonov may have an edge heading into this series. Though Bobrovsky, even though he won games when relied upon, he hasn't been at his best so far. Well, and I look towards, but at times he can steal games when he has to. Game 5 is a prime example when the Bruins were just outplaying the Panthers left and right. Was it 48 shots or 47 that the Bruins took in that game?
Yeah.
I can't remember, but Bobrovsky stood on his head in that game. And he was the big reason why the Panthers stayed alive there. And the Bruins were just one Brad Marchand breakaway from knocking out the Panthers in that game.
Yes, they were. I mean, there was so many chances. They had the lead games 5, 6, and 7. You just couldn't hold it because Florida never stopped on that attack. And let's just close it out here as far as what we know and predictions on that side. What do you like in between the Kraken and the Stars? Look, I understand, Alec, and I know you know this, that the series went one way and one way only. It was all Big D over Seattle. But the way Seattle just played, the way that they took out Colorado, I understand that Minnesota series against Dallas, that was a tough one too. And I will say this, shout out to Joel Eriksson-Ek, who tried to play game 2 with a broken leg on a 14-second shift. My goodness, it's all about hockey and effort and all of that. So Kraken, they kind of got smacked around in the regular season, but they're playing against the Stars. What do you like?
Oh, I like both of these teams. This one is a matchup that can go either way. I like the Stars because they can roll out of the lines up and down the lineup. Maybe the top line of Robertson, Hintz, and Pavelski, Ben, Johnston, Dadonov, Marchment, Domi, Sagan, and you can even rely on the defensive pair to do the work. And Jake Oettinger has proved himself in last year's playoffs, and he's carrying it on to this year. I also like Seattle because they can roll out all 4 lines. The first line's not a traditional top line, but the second, third, and fourth lines is like they have 3 second lines out there, and they just keep coming at you. The defensive pair is so underrated, and the goaltending has finally stood up. I thought the Kraken, before they even played a game in the NHL, I thought they were a Western Conference version of the Islanders. They were far from that in their inaugural season. But it was their offense that stood out in their second season. But they looked like a Western Conference version of the Islanders in that playoff series against Colorado. Not a lot of scoring, but it's the defense that's wearing Colorado down. Plus, Colorado can only do so much, especially with that top line against Seattle. It's a tough one, but I'll go Dallas in 7.
I really like that call about the West Coast version of the Islanders and the Kraken because you're right. That's all about defense and goaltending, shutting things down. That's exactly what they did for the most part against the Avs, with the exception of Game 6. Now, here's the thing. I know it's the easy button, the Staples button, those old commercials to throw out there, but I'm going to do it anyway. Filip Grubauer, you had a great series against your former team. I still look at it as an 885 regular season save percentage. You bumped it all the way up to 926. I mean, he was superhuman. He's playing on the same level at a 926 above Jake Ottinger. Jake Ottinger is close to a 930 right now going into the series against the Kraken. That is the difference for me again, goaltending. We always talk about goaltending in the postseason. I got to do that again. And I have to know, and I guess we'll know this in the first couple games, whether or not Dallas finds out a way to beat Filip Grubauer, or he just had a great series against his former team. Because if it's against Jake Ottinger, that's tough for Seattle. I believe in their offense and their ability on defense, as you said. And I think the Stars, they have a significant advantage again. I hate to do this here for the Cooper Hopkins side of it, but I'm giving you my initial thoughts, Alec. I'm going to go Stars in 6.
Stars in 6 may also seem reasonable enough. If you look at it, for Seattle, this isn't Alexander Georgiev you're facing. And though Georgiev had himself a season,
he did.
He's not that caliber of goaltending as Ottinger is. And Ottinger, he's a top, 8 goalie in the league?
Yes.
I'll put him at that.
No, absolutely on that side. And that's why I kind of throw out the preface of, I need to see, I know it's unfair to say, but I really need to see what happens in Game 1 and Game 2 before I completely dismiss the Kraken or completely give all the credit to the Stars, because I just want to see what Grubauer is going to be able to do again. And if the Kraken do get to a third series, then you won't hear any commentary from me talking about Grubauer. We'll know that he's able to be locked in at that moment. But I just wonder, Alec, if he just had a great series again because he was motivated and it was his former team. I talked to a couple of my buddies that happen to be Avs fans, and they just said pretty openly, they were pretty upset because Grubauer didn't do this here for the Avalanche.
Well, if you remember, in 2020, that's when the Avalanche went down 3-1 the series. They lost two netminders, Phil Grubauer and Pavel Francouz for that series, so they had to rely on Michael Hutchinson, a first-string goalie. And even though they won games 5 and 6, Hutchinson put up an effort in Game 7 in the bubble. Unfortunately, they weren't able to close out the deal.
And now we get a chance to, because I know we're going to be getting very close to the end of this first intermission. We do have one NBA score that I believe is live, and right now it looks like the Boston Celtics and the Philadelphia 76ers are tied at 83, and they're getting very close to ending the third quarter. So what do you like in that one, Alec? Do you like the Bees, or are you going to go with the Sixers?
I like how the Sixers are able to persevere in the absence of Joel Embiid. That he was ruled out before the game. I didn't give the Sixers a chance heading into this game. I thought the Celtics were about to run over the Sixers. But no, it's not the case. The Sixers are very much in this game. They're within breathing distance. James Harden is turning into vintage James Harden. And I like that for the Sixers, that they're staying right in this game. So if they can keep right in, probably they can give the Celtics a run for their money. Who knows if they win, but I like that for the Sixers.
So Harden right now has 30 points in 29 minutes, 4 of 10 from 3, but 12 of 23 shooting. And on the other end, to pace it for the Celtics, no surprise, Jason Tatum having himself a great game, 12 of 20 shooting, with 32 points and 9 rebounds, as this game certainly is going to go to the wire going into the fourth quarter. So we will give you updates on that. Our hockey game will likely end unless we go to OT before Phoenix and Denver. I know Denver has a 1-0 series lead, and the questions all over the place on that one, Alec, is how in the hell do you stop the center, Nikola Jokic, because they dominated Phoenix in that first game?
It's almost impossible to guard Jokic. I mean, when you have him covered, he'll find a way to pass to the open man. When you shut down the passing lanes, he'll do it himself. It just, I don't know how you shut down Jokic. He's on his way to what could be his third straight MVP. That's how good he is.
Whether or not there is such a thing, and I believe there is, because Kobe only had one MVP. I know there's voter fatigue out there. Nikola Jokic, I think, is going to be the lock. I don't know if he's going to win it, but that's who I would certainly take. And, I mean, man, it's Phoenix going to have their hands full, that's for sure. We're going to get ready for the start of the second period. Do you want me to take this play-by-play, Alec, or do you want to take a shot at it?
I might give myself a go here, so let's change this. Never a bad thing, changing things up.
I'm down here to roll with you. I'll cover the color.
All right, so this game is still scoreless here after 20 minutes of action as we head into the second period. So there were some good chances as Jack Hughes got stopped on a breakaway. Timo Meier may have hit the post on a 2-on-1, and Mika Zibanejad got stripped on a 2-on-1 on the other side. The Rangers had 3 power play chances to the Devils 1, and there were some goalposts left and right and some good chances. So what do you like about this game?
It's pretty much what not to like on that side, Alec. I'm right there with you. Goal post chances on the power play. It's been good defensive play both ways. But as we said into the first intermission, we want to see something open up here and see which one of these defenses and which one of these offense can pierce the veil on the other end. So take it away, my friend.
Here we go. Puck is down. The Devils in their home red uniforms and black pants going from right to left this time around. The Rangers in their road whites and the blue numbers as the centering pass goes wide. Rangers pick this up. They have the red pants going from left to right this time around. They won both Game 7s previously, those two being in 1992 and 1994 against the New Jersey Devils. The latter being a 2-1 double overtime victory. Here's Jesper low volley. It's hit the post. Rangers trying to get this out. It's picked up by Mika Zibanejad on a 2-on-2. Gains the zone, tries to center on through. May have hit Bratt several times. Now loose. It's picked up by Ryan Graves. Both teams are trying to get the first goal of this game. Rangers have been in the situation where they got outplayed before in Game 7 last year in the first round against the Penguins. The shots that game were 40-26. The Rangers won 4-3 that game on a power play goal by Artemi Panarin. They look to get their second straight Game 7 win in the first round and third straight Game 7 win. Keandre Miller watching over Andre Gallant is passed on back around for Jack Hughes, who's harassed along the blue line by Artemi Panarin. He marches shot wide. Rebound stop by Jesper. Hamilton gets it back, and Jesper makes the save as well. And a call it around for Jack Hughes. Tries to start one on back. One Ranger fell down. Several kicks in tight. Hughes keeps his pin and poked on away by the Rangers captain, Jacob Trouba. Finds Keandre Miller, bounced off a Ranger right in front, is gloved right down, and now a chip and chase up for Filip. Watched by Kevin Ball. Tries to backhand this along, but Jonas Siegenthaler got there first. Ball tried to get this out, but Chytil was all over his face. Still on his tail, but gets it up on time. To Siegenthaler, and Chytil falls down as the Devils get this up the ice. Drop pass for Palat. Palat trying to find a passing lane through. Hughes gets checked right in front of the crease as that shot goes well wide. It's kept right in. And Jesper sticks that one aside. Andre Palat tries to center on through to Jack Hughes. Nico couldn't clear. Hughes gets stick lifted, still has it. Watched by Patrick Kane, and now set runs right in. Timo Meier does not have a single point in this series. Looks to break the funk right here. Several checks in tight, and now he's a 2-on-1 with the Rangers. Trocheck to the left, here's Ruff right here. He shoots, and a glove save by Schmid.
That is absolutely electric the other way. And if I'm Hughes, I'm sure I'm going to feel sore no matter what if this series continues. He's been getting upended like crazy.
Man, he's been punished all over the ice by the Rangers, no matter what. Whether it be that breakaway or him falling down or that last chance by the
was a nice, accurate shot there by Alexei Lafreniere, but talk about Shesterkin making it look easy. Schmid will counter. That was great.
Yeah, Schmid is like, oh, Shesterkin making those saves look like nothing? All right, I'll take some notes. Rangers give it on away, and the Devils move this up on a 3-on-3. Miles Wood dumps this in. He's in place of the healthy scratch Curtis Lazar, led his second career playoff goal in Game 6. Adam Fox sends up forward. There's a tie-up right to Devil zone, and is picked up by Michael McLeod. He goes on over to the other side. McLeod, that pass was blocked by Lindgren, and that shot was stopped by Shesterkin. Kept it by the Devils, bouncing, and it's shot wide. Picked up by Ryan Lindgren now on the rebound. Set up through to center ice, and now advancing this through is Barclay Goudreau. Lindgren the first to it. Sticks this on the side, but the Devils pick this right back up. Jesper Bratt, 2-on-2 on the other side. McLeod has him on the trailer. McLeod comes on over to the backhand, and he's blocked by Chris Kreider. Almost drifted the puck, the pass right in front, poked on away. There was Tomas Tatar right in front. Tarasenko was there. And this puck exits out to center. John Marino harassed by Chris Kreider. And this shot on around. Marino had that first stick shot on Mika Zibanejad to open the game on that shot opportunity. Tarasenko sends this back. Here's Ryan Lindgren airing this out, and this will go over, gloved down by Ryan Graves. It's bounced on around. Tatar picks this up across the red line. The goal on down to Jacob Trouba. Trouba shot by Hischier a bit, and now the Devils. Two-body collide with each other. Tarasenko and Zibanejad running right into each other as the Devils shoot this high. It's kept up by Hischier spinning and turning. Hischier cutting right to the net. Lost it. Good check by the Rangers to nullify that chance. As Jacob Trouba picks this up, Andre Palat puts a shove on him. Tries to get it on around. Jack Hughes was there though. Rangers tried to get this out. Could not do so. They tried to do a second time, and this time they are successful. Puck is over at the Devils' blue line, where it's picked up by Brian Graves. Sent on across, and now walking to the Paula back for Palat. Palat shoots it, and that was partially blocked. This rebound was swept away by Ryan Lindgren. And Siegenthaler had that jump in attempt. Not go the first time, and now the Devils bring this back in. There's an offside, however.
We'll say this, Alec, the game plan for the New Jersey Devils, no doubt, when they've gotten the puck in the offensive end, is screens out in front looking for deflections. We just get a chance to see a puck for Nico Hischier, the captaincy, just graze off the right post as Shesterkin will glance back, and Mika Zibanejad now doing the best Jack Hughes impression, not the best way, as he's been getting punished.
Well, it certainly has not gone well for either Hughes or Zibanejad thus far. If you talk about that breakaway or that partially blocked shot attempt. So this puck goes out of play for another stoppage. Well, Zibanejad had a goal alongside Tarasenko last game. What do they have to do to step up?
Man, you got to get away from this body contact to start in the second period. But when you get in the offensive end, I don't think you need to make anything fancy. Just get some shots. We've seen a couple of back passes there from the Rangers go by. I think they're going to have to change the game plan to start firing at the net.
Get those deflections up there as well. That's what Toronto did in their series against Tampa Bay. Puck is held in by the Rangers in the Devil zone. Keandre Miller passes forward up to Phil Keto, who takes a dive to try to keep this in, but the Devils coming away with it. Up is Timo Meier on a 3-on-2. Dawson Mercer right side, center on front. Sharon Govich was there, but couldn't tip it in. Another try. Shesterkin made the save. And this rebound goes up to Siegenthaler. Here's Hamilton with it. Up with Sharon Govich. Shoots it off a body in front. Mercer gets shoved several times by Schneider. It's poked on away by Keandre Miller. And he clears this out where Jonas Siegenthaler banks this down at center ice. Puck is bounced down by several bodies, and this is bouncing up high in the air. Schneider got leveled. But it was a reverse hit on Nate Bastian on the other way. And the Rangers get this all the way down. No icing here. This is picked up by Damon Severson. Alexei Lafreniere watching. Just one shot attempt for the Rangers in this period. Gotta step it up here. Benny Trocheck shakes off one check. Moves on over through the far boards around Damon Severson. Going to the net. Stop by the rebound. That's kicked out as well. And helping out Schmid was Michael McLeod to cover that one up.
That was a good drive there. That was Patrick Kane. They finally got a couple opportunities, as you said. We'll put this across the score Chiron. 14 shots to 3 are the attempts. As that was Vinny Trocheck that tried to slam it in. And then Patrick Kane right on the doorstep. He just couldn't get any air underneath it. And on the other end, it was a drive to the net by Igor Sharankovich. And Shesterkin sliding all the way over to the right post, back to the left, back to the right, and denied it in tight. My goodness, these goaltenders are locked in, Alec.
And I don't know who's that one defender who's covering up Timo Meier, but shout out to him on doing his assignments.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody's been on their P's and Q's, but this certainly feels like New Jersey. The start of the first periods look like the start of the second. They've been all over it right now.
Most certainly have been. Off the tie-up is won by the Devils. Kevin Ball couldn't pick this up, but it's helped out by Damon Severson. Moved up forward, and now the Devils take this up. Patrick Kane on defense. Eric Holla tries to get this up, and now Andre Palat will pass it right back, but it's the Rangers coming away with it. Alexei Lafreniere moving this up forward. Vinny Trocheck couldn't get to it. Lafreniere can. Tries a tight angle shot, doesn't get there. And this puck sails out to center ice, where Adam Fox is blocked by Eric Holla. Uses the stanchion to pass it up for Vinny Trocheck, who just sent this in. Now the fourth race is Damon Severson getting there first, poking this away from Kevin Ball. And now Andre Palat trying to advance his murder, held in by Kay. Kay in the high slot, looking for a shooting lane. Dancing his way through, is blocked in front. Held in by Lindgren, bouncing in front, that was sent on wide. And now this is the Rangers keeping this in, but Lafreniere is tied up by Palat. Lafreniere keeping his arm around through the near boards, and now racing through his Powerplay. Goudreau, what speed that he has to keep that in. Eric Holla along the far boards now. Couldn't get it out. It's held in by the Rangers. And now racing to it first is Goudreau beating out Ball. To go over to the point, a quick shot goes out wide, and now the first to it is Trouba. Jacob Trouba along the near corner. He'll send this on around the boards, and now back to the right point for Goudreau. Goudreau looks. Now over to the left side. Here is Lindgren. Tucks it, and it sets up high over to the netting.
12:49 here left to go. In this second, we're still scoreless, Alec, and now I'm seeing a little bit of that defensive play as the Devils are doing a great job blocking everything out in front of Akira Schmid as we go to break. But yeah, you asked me what it's going to take to break out, and I said the Rangers are driving net to get a chance to get more opportunities. They did that over the last couple minutes, but the Devils quickly came back the other way as the puck got almost kissed off the post a couple of times. You could take that 5-2 prediction that I said at the very beginning of this game and the 4-2 alongside for you and throw those out the window. This might be more along the side of a 2-1.
It might be more of a 2-1 game, and by how it's going on here. Whether it's going to be overtime or not is yet to be determined. But man, this game is more of the defensive slugfest that is known as playoff hockey that people have been anticipating about. Playoff hockey usually involves games like these, and people are seeing it right now here.
Yeah, they are. And again, I also think you're seeing, again, Akira Schmid didn't get a chance to get a lot of regular season time, but when he did, his numbers were good. And now everything you see in the postseason, as you talked about, they've been extraordinary, really. And it puts it into a situation even going into next year, regardless of what happens in this series. You could book him as a 1A, 1B goaltender, and then if you have Jonathan Bernier and Mackenzie Blackwood, you could essentially just let them walk. And you could feel good going into next season, I would believe, if you had Schmid and Vanacek as your 1A, 1B.
Yep, use Schmid as the 1A and Vanacek as the 1B. That's the ideal situation that I would go with next season if I'm Lindy Ruff heading into the 2024 NHL season.
And this is a Devils team that we're really watching, Alec, on this side, isn't it? Where they're kind of experiencing their postseason window opening. I think that they're going to be good for a while now since they've kind of broke through. I don't think that they're going to fall back anytime soon.
Plus, they got Luke Hughes on the come up for New Jersey. That's going to be a big boost.
Absolutely. Now all they need is Quinn, but I think he's going to get his captaincy in Vancouver.
So that's a realistic possibility now that Bo Horvat is over at the island.
That's all three brothers, all good bloodlines. We get an offensive zone draw here coming forward the Rangers.
Barclay Goudreau and Miles Wood, the draw is Wood winning it. Dougie Hamilton couldn't clear as it's held in by the Rangers. A second try failed on it. Tyler Mock braced himself, and now it's a battle behind the net between Timo Meier and Jimmy Vesey as the Devils coming away with it. Here's the pass forward for Dougie Hamilton. Hamilton just tips it through, but it hit a Ranger right in front. The Devils keep this hit, however. DeAndre Miller behind the nets. Turn on over and tight is Miles Wood behind the nets. Several bodies going down, and now it's Hamilton. Cross ice for Siegenthaler, and it's passed on back around for Meier. Center out from McLeod, and there'll be a delayed penalty against the Rangers as they touch up.
I don't know if if it's going to be tripping or some kind of roughing, but we saw it in the right side corner of the wall. It's definitely going to go against the Rangers here. Shots are now 10-9. Get a chance to take a look at it now. Timo Meier in behind the net. And, oh, man, Keandre Miller definitely got Meier in the chicklets.
Yeah, got him with a high stick up at the chicklets. And, yep, it's not one of those penalties that you want to take.
Yeah, when you lose somebody like Keandre Miller, again, I know it's sort of the underrated category in between the second line part of the defense. And are we getting a review as to whether or not? I see Barclay Goodrow heading into the box. That's kind of confusing. I thought it was Keandre Miller.
Yeah, I thought it was Miller as well. I wonder what Goodrow is having, or maybe he may be discussing with the officials. But Miller, I think he's the one taking this penalty. So I think they just sent in the wrong guy.
Yeah, maybe to see what the Rangers could get away with. That's my thought on that side. They wanted to keep Keandre Miller on the ice.
Oh, but nonetheless, it's a 2-minute power play for the Devils. Nico Hischier, Dawson Mercer, Timo Meier, Jack Hughes, and Dougie Hamilton on the ice to begin with. They're 0 for 1 thus far, but they spent all of 33 seconds on an abbreviated power play here, 4 for 22 in this series. Jack Hughes starts up from his own end. Boy, he is dangerous on breakaway and penalty shot situations. Hughes passes on to the right. Here's Mercer. Mercer pass right back around behind the net. Hughes loses an edge for the second time in this game after Rangers clearing down. Oh my goodness. That's not what you want from your young star. Jack Hughes again starts up forward, and now here comes Hischier. Hischier walking this in, poked on the side several times, and the Rangers, great job at forcing the offside.
I wanted to make sure, Alec, I didn't step all over you. That's why I took an extra pause there, because not only does Jack Hughes go down, and he waves to make sure that he's all right with his teammates, and then on the other end, he's just trying to get back in the play, and he's offsides, and they just showed both of his wipeouts. He certainly had a rough introduction to Game 7s.
Not the best Game 7 debut that you want in your young career. So this faceoff will be taken by New Jersey. It's the second unit out there now. Damon Severson control. Eric Holler gets this in for Jesper Bratt. Several pokes at it by the Rangers as they try to flip this out. Some slippery sliding here as there might be a penalty against the Devils. Tyler Mock playing keep away from New Jersey. So they get 5 guys on the ice here for the Rangers. So the Devils cannot touch up here anymore on their power play. Dave soon, Devin killed off, and here's the touch up. We will now have 50 seconds of 4-on-4.
So it's going to be a tripping call the other way, and I'm glad that you pointed that out there for Tyler Mock, because we profiled him a couple times. Great job to be able to go back there and just kill some time. As yeah, you got the stick all up under Barclay Goodrow, and the Zebras could do nothing. They had to call that one.
Yeah, with Jesper Bratt taking that penalty as he poked Barclay Goodrow's skates. Now, sometimes the intentions are that you're trying to poke the puck away. I'm not sure if that's what he's trying to do. Maybe he was trying to poke it away along the boards, but sometimes it can be hard to poke the puck away from the boards when the puck is from on the other side of the player.
Yes, it is, and we just saw really quickly that Jacob Trouba actually hooked Bratt in the face before the puck was drawn, and that was not called.
And they may have missed that one. Benny Trocheck wins the draw. Brady Schneider has to stop. This is Ryan Lindgren with it, circling this on around. To go back over for Trocheck. Give it go, fake it, and now it's to go over to Patrick Kane. Kane circling his way right through. Pass Siegenthaler, pass Hamilton. Still taking this for a ride. Back for Schneider, and on around is Trocheck. Trocheck meets Kane along the point. Back it goes for Lindgren. Lindgren just throws one on goal, and Schmid saw this low-moving shot. They're both jamming at it, but he covered this one up well and secure.
Well, Siegenthaler, I know what he was trying to do off of the block in front. I don't know if he almost put it in the net there. Akira Schmid, he's trying to get in front of it. He's pushing his goaltender in the process. So I'm looking at Schmid go ahead and get a chance to track this. And Siegenthaler falls right into Trocheck, and it was absolute madness as the play was blown dead.
And Trocheck was trying to jam this in. Never a bad play to go to the blue paint, but the opposing team's not going to like that. The Zibanejad line of him and Kreider are out there on the ice right now. So as Zibanejad is tossed out, it's Kreider against Michael McLeod, and McLeod, boy, he's one of the better face-off men in the NHL. No surprise they won that. Andre Gallant clears this out. Rangers control. Ryan Lindgren. So they have 12 seconds left of 4-on-4 before the Rangers go on an abbreviated power play. They're fourth of this game. Adam Fox continues to hold, watched by Palat. And it's circled on around, turn right over, but the Devils give it right back. Kreider picks it right back up, but it's taken away by Palat. Palat, they have a step. Game right in front, trying to wait it out. They score! Short-handed magic for Michael McLeod. 1-0 Devils.
That was an absolutely fantastic goal for Michael McLeod, and I'm going to take nothing away because that's an A-plus call by you. But what in the absolute heck were the Rangers doing in their own end? They were falling all over themselves near the right side. Fox turns it over. Rangers blow an edge with Kreider, and McLeod stays patient. They wait it out off the cross pass, and the Devils finish. It's Palat for McLeod. And on that side, that is a careless giveaway. If you're the Rangers, that's unacceptable.
You cannot do that if you're the Rangers. No chance that you should do this play. Because, man, Michael McLeod just made him pay with that patience. We'll see if they can respond here in a minute of power play time. Mika Zibanejad just tosses this right towards the net. Now Chris Kreider around to go over to the right point for Adam Fox. Sends this down low. Here's Artemi Panarin. Decides to go back for Fox. Panarin takes it for a right, and now Fox was in. Panarin comes right over to the right. Circle shot saved. The rebound picked up in the slot. It's New Jersey with it. Hischier sends this all the way down. 35 left on the power play. Just looking a deep pass. Just missed. And now Ryan Graves sends this down to here. It's a 2-on-1 for New Jersey. Dawson Mercer. That pass on over to Hischier, and that was broken up. Mercer tied up by Adam Fox at the Rangers end is picked up by Tarasenko. Tarasenko feeds it over to the left side for Kreider. Has to poke this right back down behind Jesper. Left up behind for Fox. 10 seconds left. Pass it for here's Panarin. Panarin sending this on around through the near boards to the far side. And coming right in is Patrick Kane. Juggled on around and the power play ends. Panarin sends this back. Here is Trouba. Trouba had that one poked on the way, and the Devils and fans are calling for a penalty there. They will not get one here. So the fans call when the refs don't. Keandre Miller sends this up, and this was touched by a Rangers stick. It's into the Devils' end now. Benny Trocheck sends this slowly, and this went off the body. There was a deep pass, and it was too far for Jack Hughes. He had a breakaway right to him, and they couldn't connect. Devils picked this up, however. Jonas Siegenthaler pass up through the near boards to go over to Kim Meyer, and now here is Jacob Trouba. Trouba circling this through over to the near boards. 8:20 left in the second. Patrick Kane walks this right in. Kane continuing to hold. Right from the top of the point. That shot that was seeing I through. And it bounced on over to the near boards. Rangers gonna hold. There is Timo Meyer pivoting. Meyer washed on by Schneider as he backhands it over to Hamilton. Headshot saved. The rebound loose. It's poked on away, and the Rangers sweep this out. Is Patrick Kane with the puck at his own blow line. Schneider sending this around for the boards that the Rangers change, and the Devils may opt for the same thing as Graves and Hamilton out there at the same time. Rangers continue to put the offensive pressure in, though. It's the Tyler Mott line out there. Puck bounces on down. It's Mott. Backhand is on in right to where Schmidt is standing. Gets it on for Ryan Graves. Bouncing on for the near boards, and Brady Schneider was standing there waiting for it. Deep pass just went over a stick, and this will go over to Graves. Graves has it. Across this go over to Hamilton. Dougie Hamilton, his pass went over to McLeod, looking for a second, and it was Johnson on the way. This goes over to Goudreau, and it's clear on out to center where the Devils have this is John Marino. That passed on further by Basket. Dave Basket shoved on a side by Nico, and I believe there's an offside.
You know what, Alec? I'm going to tell you this. I know it sounds very reactionary, and it's not just because of the shorthanded goal. If the Rangers do this again in the third period, they're going to go home. And I'm going to tell you this, the way the fans are going to react, they're going to get destroyed on social media. They've been falling all over themselves right now. When we talked about what needs to be changed in the second period, again, go ahead and get more shots. Well, the Rangers had some opportunity on that power play, and what did? They danced with the puck continually. They tried to work around in the high slot. The shots got blocked. They took too long. They allowed the Devils to go the other way, not only to get shorthanded opportunities, it was almost a breakaway for Jack Hughes. And now I'm starting to understand some of the comments from Igor Shesterkin and getting frustrated Well, he's tired of having to make the saves all the time. It's got to go the other end at some point. But the Devils are absolutely outplaying the Rangers right now. And the Devils deserve it. And the Rangers are kind of shooting themselves in the foot. That's what I see.
And the Devils deserve every bit of credit in this, especially when you look at the 5-on-5 metrics. That's going towards the Devils' favor here. Definitely so. They've been outplaying the Rangers so far in this game. And the Rangers team that looked like a cup contender before the playoffs started, they're now asking about Gerard Gallant's job security.
That's rough, but again, it's not something I know people like to talk about coaches if something doesn't work out. But I mean, you're going to be thinking about the same thing with Rick Bowness in Winnipeg, aren't you? Considering the way that it started in January, they were in first, and it's kind of changed. But why is this Rangers team? I know we don't have answers to these questions, but they've been so Jekyll and Hyde in this series. They were unstoppable in the first two games, but now they're looking more like they did when games 3 and 4.
Not to mention Game 5 at New Jersey, where they put up a big donut hole in Game 5 and allowed that shorthanded goal. This shorthanded goal was the second they allowed in this series.
That was one of the most brutal goals I think I've ever seen in the postseason, at least for this year.
It was. It's just that. I wonder if Steve Dangle's going to put his dangets in Steve's dangets. And now we're back in action here. Less than 7 minutes to go. A backhanded pass could not go through, and now is Jacob Trouba. Watch out over at the far corner by Tatar, and now they're both poking at it. DeAndre Miller in some trouble as well. Is Hischier taking his own away? Rangers going to clear his Hischier. Shoved at the face, and now it's advanced on down low to Bratt. Send it on for Hischier. His shot kicked out by Jesper. Kreider in some trouble trying to pick up this puck. Zibanejad can, and it's circling around behind the ball in the net. Bruno forwards over to Jacob Trouba. 6:25 to go in the second period. Rangers need one to tie. They've been playing from behind in games 4 and 5. Not the position that they've been looking for. Adam Fox at the deep right point. Sends it down low, is collected by Panarin. Panarin watched by John Marino, stripped by him. For the moment, he gets tripped up. And now the Devils take this away. It's Andre Polak flipping this down for the ice. And now gloved on down by Lindgren, backhanding this through to the sin bin where Fox is standing. Sent it on through to Trocheck, and Trocheck trying to break on free. Good strip by Marino. And a dangerous check by Marino. They shove Trocheck towards the far corner. They're both shoving at each other. A massive dog pile. Or not exactly a dog pile, but a fiasco ensues right along the boards.
Yeah, Trocheck was definitely shaking his head and exchanging some words there for Marino. I think for good reason. Marino knew exactly what he was doing, and I think that the Devils are trying to assert their dominance and the physicality that they're already showing on the ice. I think that was a very calculated move by Marino.
It was. And if you look at the defense, it's going towards the Devils' favor. But that shove by Marino, I don't know if it should have been a penalty or not. And Trocheck may be arguing in favor of a penalty. Probably for a cross-check or roughing, but who knows?
It's definitely something, Alec, that we can say was riding the fine line, if you want to go ahead and talk about it that way. But also, let me take a step further. Is that something that is going to ignite the Rangers out of this funk? You got to find something to get you going. It's got to start now. Again, they've had puck possession. I keep hammering this home because it's true. The Rangers have had opportunities, but they're electing to try to make something happen rather than shoot from the outside lanes and force everything in the slot. It's not there right now. And at some point, when you know it's not there, you got to change your game plan. And if you don't do that, all you're doing is playing into the Devils' hands.
And I wonder if Chris Kreider or Jacob Trouba would give a second intermission locker room speech if this continues.
Yes. No, you're right. Trouba's got to do something. Kreider, Zibanejad, whoever. Even Panarin. I understand not all these guys can be leaders. Hell, even Patrick Kane. That's what you brought him over here for.
Exactly for that same reason. That veteran leadership. But so far, there's nothing to show for it. It's just like in Game 5. Game 7 right now, is this the biggest game, arguing of your season so far? A trip to Carolina on the line, and you need to have something to show for it.
Yeah, not only in the way, and again, it's all credit to the Devils, but the way the Rangers are playing, they wouldn't even beat Carolina right now.
for debate if they can take down Carolina at this point, but we'll have to get back to that as this game goes on. Tie-up won by Sharon Govich, and now Dougie Hamilton advances it for Siegenthaler, taken on away by the Rangers. Mercer couldn't handle it, but now tries to clear this out, and is helped out by Timo Meier. Several pokes at it, and the Rangers take this one away. 2-on-2, but a tie-up at the neutral zone negates that. Here come the Devils on a 3-on-1. Sharon Govich plays, you save, rebound. Shesterkin got both of them with 5:29 left in the period.
Well, that's why you have Igor Shesterkin. I know they're trying to chant Igor on the other side. You're not going to rattle him and get under his skin. You got a 3-on-1. Sharon Govich doesn't elect the pass. Again, that's probably the right decision. I mean, there really wasn't a lot of room. But Shesterkin has to make a couple of saves, and that's just ridiculous.
It's like, if you're Ryan Lindgren, what do you do in this situation? It's like, pick your poison.
Absolutely.
Devils win another face-off. This is Jack Hughes in control. Tries to pass right back, goes to Kevin Ball. The shot down low, blocked in front. There's a tie-up at the high spot. Rangers pick this up. And now they start a 3-on-2 on the other side. Kako. That's pass right in front for Kino. Couldn't handle it. Tied up by 3 Devils right in front. Kako helps him out. Here's Trouba with a shot, and it's blocked on the way by Schmid. Behind the net is Kako. Now he comes out in front. Kako's shot sails up high and wide the net. Trouba keeps it in, however. It goes on out, kicked out by Schmid. Kako keeps this in. Goes down low to the point for Keandre Miller. Miller looks over to Lafreniere. Lafreniere shot, and Schmid puts to the light on the Devils fans.
You know, I'm going to tell you this honestly here, Alec. Who was that? They got about 4 shots all on that same line. You know them well. The kid line. What do they try to do? Manufacture opportunities and make sure that they test Akira Schmid. I think we need to see more of that. That's a great job by that line.
The most consistent line by the Rangers, an even strength 5-on-5 play. So Gerard Gallant's going to shake up the lines here. They reunite the kid line and they put Kreider, Zibanejad, and Tarasenko still there. Kane is reunited with Panarin as far as things go. Nico off the face-off, tries getting this down low, is cut on away by the Devils. Hischier tries to center, but Tarasenko broke that one up. This goes over to Nico at his own zone, and the Rangers try to start things up forward. It goes on around for the far boards, and Schmid will play this out for Ryan Graves. The Chris Kreider is 7-1 in Game 7. The only loss was the 2015 Eastern Conference Final. Here's a Devils holding on it, and a miss. The rebound, they score! Tomas Tatar!
Was that John Marino that was going coast to coast? I know Tomas Tatar finished it off. The defenseman making something happen. He gets denied on the first opportunity. Tomas Tatar right on the doorstep. That is an absolute backbreaking goal for the New York Rangers. And I can tell you this, for the most part, they deserve it. John Marino powers his way. Beautiful back pass. Nobody picks up Tatar. Utter elation like he just won the $1 million lottery. And he very well deserves it there. Tatar's had a great year for the Devils. Johnny on the spot, 2-0. Alec, I am stunned.
This is an absolute stunner. And you know, if you talk about Game 7s between these two teams, it looks like third time maybe a charm for the Devils. A lot has changed ever since 1994 between these two teams. And what a time for Tatar to get rewarded here. His first goal of this series and first series back since 2020. He did not play in the entire 2021 Montreal Canadiens Stanley Cup final run. It's batted on down by the Rangers. They look to get one back in the hopes that they spark a comeback. They did make a comeback in all 3 of their games in the 3-1 series comeback last year against the Penguins. As Sharon Govich shoots it, and it was blocked in front. Boy, the Rangers need to respond here and get something here on a wake-up call. Adam Fox over to Patrick Kane, tries to center on through, but that extra pass was blocked on the way. The puck is behind the net. That's still there. It's picked up by Kane, tied up by Eric Holla. They batted on through to the near boards, and now Jonas Siegenthaler skates this up. Siegenthaler onto the left circle, centers it on for Holla. Shoots, save, rebound, swept away by the Rangers. And now it's back on through to the Devils' end. Devils skating up. They've been skating circles around the Rangers at their own end, controlling the pace of play 5-on-5. Keandre Miller from his own end starts things up, takes it to center ice. Jacob Trouba sends it around, and Schmid will place behind out for Graves. Goodrow rides there with him, and now it's a tie up there. McLeod tries to poke at it. It's still anyone's puck. Graves pokes it away, and McLeod takes this up. John Marino sends this forward, and now this is batted on through. McLeod could have sent it forward, and now Mika at the one bounced on through. It's not held at the blue line. The Devils at the one passed on back. Ryan Graves. Howitzers one around for the near to the far boards. Nate Bastian arriving there first. Nico putting on some shoves around, and the Devils fans are chanting Igor in a mocking tone. 2:05 to go into the second period. Jonas Siegenthaler controls, and now there's a back pass. It was intended for Miles Wood. We'll see if this is an icing. No, they'll let him play. Adam Fox couldn't clear the zone. Oh, yes, he does. And now this is centered on through. Philip Keto walking this in on a 3-on-3. Watched by Tatar. Got the stick lift. And it's a behind the net. Nico Hischier took a whack at it from one of the Rangers. Now Jonas Siegenthaler passes this off. And now the Devils skating this on through. Back pass for Bratt. Watched it tight by Fox. Puts on a shot through him. Race free. Here's Tatar. Watched by Lindgren. And now we're just taking on through to the near boards. Less than 90 seconds ago in the second period. A chance gets it on through. Doesn't connect. And now Tatar was about to skate off. He'll just send us around for the board before he heads to the bench. Jesper Bratt tries to shoot it. Can't do so. And the Rangers get this out. 11-1 on the inner slot shots in favor of the Devils in this game. That's how much they have controlled the pace of play in this game. We're approaching the 40-minute mark. So, final minute of the second period, the Rangers trying to get one back. And you wonder if Chris Kreider or Jacob Trouba are going to have that second intermission speech as we get a stoppage here.
Oh, man. I'm going to make sure I save my extended thoughts here for the second intermission because I feel like a rant's coming on my end. But, yeah, this is complete dominance. The score line doesn't indicate just how much better the Devils have been than the Rangers.
It feels like they were all over the ice. The bad thing is, even though it seems like there are 7 Devils out on the ice, it's like you said, John, earlier in this game, the Rangers don't have the chance of calling a too many men penalty against the Devils.
Right.
This puck bounces around to the near boards and center on through and bounces on behind the net. Chris Kreider spade us on through for Mika Zibanejad at the right point. Around to go back for Kreider, behind the net. Kreider continuing to hold, watched by Marino and now Graves. He's double teamed behind the net still. Comes out in front, and this is bouncing over to Trouba. A flat pass down low is a centering feed that gets knocked away. And this will be sent on all the way to the Rangers then, so they'll have to restart things over. Trouba sends this around for the boards. Now picked up by Graves. Takes a shove, and now the Rangers keep this in. Maybe a last-second chance here to get something. There's a tip in front. Where is it? It's over to the far boards, and the Devils can run things out, knowing that they have a 2-0 lead with 20 minutes left to go.
Alec, I think here's the time for it now, if you'll permit me here for a couple minutes as we're taking a look at some of these highlights. So the score line is just 2-0, and we will give you the particulars here as far as what's set. It's all in the second period. It was Michael McLeod shorthanded from Palat, and Tomas Tatar with his first of the series with John Marino and Nico Hischier at 15:39. And when we get into the team stats, I'll just throw this out there in particular. The shot board actually reads 18 shots on goal. The hits are even at 16. The Devils have a 17-12 advantage on hits. So what I'm about to say doesn't sound like everything else across, but it's the truth. It looked like in that 20 minutes that the Rangers didn't even belong on the same ice as the New Jersey Devils. This series has had so many wild momentum swings, it's been impossible to predict. But here's the thing that's been ugly. Not only has it been so bad, but the Rangers can not only get opportunities, but they also gave up 3 breakaways and a shorthanded goal to Michael McLeod, in which you had Trouba and Zibanejad falling all over themselves alongside Panarin, where they gave up an inconceivable shorthanded goal. You can't have those types of mental lapses. And then when you get into the offensive end, you got to fire shots at the net. You can't look too cute. I understand the personnel changes in between Tarasenko and Kane, but they're supposed to help you. They don't look like they're ready to even be on this team right now. The Rangers are like more comfortable from what they were last year. And again, all credit in the world goes to the Devils. It's not one of these times where I say something to make one team sound good to bring the other team down. No, New Jersey deserves everything that they can have right now as far as their credit. But if the Rangers don't find any modicum of anything to find in the first, I don't know, 6 minutes of the third period, you could write this one off if they kind of show up anywhere close to that in the third. That was awful.
That was horrendous. You could say those first 40 minutes for the Rangers, they need to turn things around and fast. Because the shots on goal don't tell the full story of this game.
No.
The Devils look like the better team, like they have been in games 3 through 5. The Rangers are trying to play too fine with it. They're just trying to make the perfect pass, the perfect read. They're just trying to make things too fine for themselves. Like what I saw with the Bruins.
Yeah.
In game 5 through 7 of their series. Just too many mistakes.
Yeah, they are. And you know who's going to be very happy about on the other end? I know it's the rest of the New Jersey Devils who have a chance to win this game 7 and move on, but who's going to be really happy about that is Akira Schmid, because this was a goaltender that's been really good in this series, but he got roughed up in game 6. So what's the simple thing you think, Alec? Fire shots at the net and pressure a goaltender that's young, that was roughed up. No, they're doing the exact opposite. I think that's a horrendous game plan.
Yeah, it's a bad game plan to put up. They have to go with the game plan that they put up in the last game. Take Schmidt's guys away from the play, put up multiple bodies up front. You usually want one body, but probably sometimes you want to go with two bodies in front. Because two bodies right in front would sometimes make for better situations. Get a tip in right in front.
Yeah, get something to obscure the way the eyes and do something more of the game 6s you just referenced. I am just going to flip across very quickly because I think we are under the last seconds. We're going to go right back into our game coverage nonetheless. And Alec, if you want to take it the whole way, you can be my guest on that side because you had a terrific call in the second period. But I'm looking at the score line now. It's 117-115. Sixers over Celtics without Embiid.
I'll tell you, what a valiant effort by the Sixers to stay in this game against the Celtics. Was James Harden, 45 points though so far. Houston Harden has showed up here in Boston in a hostile environment.
Yeah, you nailed it. And again, I understand one game is not going to make an entire series. But if Harden is able to replicate some of that, I mean, and then you also insert Embiid, who we know is not going to miss the entire series. You know, Philadelphia and Boston kind of seem like they were on a collision crash course with each other. And either one of these teams can come out of the East.
Yep. And it's been said by some people around here that most likely whoever wins this series could go to the NBA Finals unless the Miami Heat or New York Knicks have something to say about it.
I know those fans are very passionate. I don't want to discredit any of that stuff, but I would be leaning toward Philadelphia and Boston. But what say you?
You know, Philadelphia and Boston seems like the most likely candidates for whoever represents the East in the NBA Finals.
I think so too. As you see Marcus Smart fall on the floor here, Tyrese Maxey, I think this was last touch. So this is going to be an opportunity of Paul Reed of all people. He's going to chance to get a double-double if he makes both of these free throws, and the first one's up and good. So Philadelphia is up 118-115 on Celtics with 4.6 left.
Oh, impressive game by the Sixers thus far. And keep in mind, this is without Joel Embiid. But do remember, they have the depth to back things up. Even though they don't have Matisse Thybulle anymore, they have guys like Anthony Melton, Paul Reed, Jalen McDaniels, Georges Niang. Those guys can step up when relied on.
Yes, they can. Marcus Smart tried to cast a three. Boston didn't have any timeouts left. He missed. Philadelphia takes game one at TD Garden in Boston. So you didn't feel very good about the Bruins falling down. I don't think you feel very good about the Philadelphia 76ers coming in and beating Boston 119-115. My goodness.
Oh, the second straight day that Boston is in complete shock that they lost to Joel Embiid-less Sixers in game one. The night after they witnessed the greatest upset in NHL history.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough 48 hours, shall we say, for the city on that end. Again, I didn't mean to interrupt you, and beside the NHL coverage that we had, because we did have some good back and forth from the Devils and the Rangers. I just flipped that one back over. I just caught that because it was the last 4 seconds to give everybody a live update. So I gave my passionate thoughts about the Rangers, and I feel like if they don't get something going here within the first 6 minutes, I might actually write this completely off unless this team starts to look a little bit different as they've done at times throughout the year. You just got interviewed Michael McLeod there and Emily Kaplan. But this is going to be an extraordinary first round. It's going to end tonight after our coverage and all that, Alec. And this is another series. I know New Jersey is the higher seed, but I called the Rangers on that end. This is going to be another upset on my book. If the Devils finish this off, this could be one of the greatest first rounds we've ever seen.
Yeah, it may be up there with last year, because if you remember last year, we got 51 first-round games. I believe that was the third time that we had over 50 first-round games. But, man, this is one of the greatest first rounds ever. Because if you remember last year, we had 5 game sevens. 2 of them going to overtime, both on the same day.
Yeah.
This year, we just witnessed Toronto break their curse. Boston getting upset after having the greatest regular season ever, and then the defending champion Avalanche losing to the Kraken, and the Kraken becoming the first team to down the defending champions in their first ever playoff series.
We've certainly had it all. It'd be hard to believe that the second round is going to be as good as the first, but as these teams press on, we've previewed the other 3 matchups that we know of. But let's just say it right now. Let's say the scoreline holds and the Devils will face the Carolina Hurricanes. I think we have a better forecast of this now after 40 minutes. Who do you like in that one, Alec?
You know, this one's tough to say, because Carolina, I'll get Redbox down here for the moment because he requested to speak. Between Carolina and New Jersey, if that were to happen, should the scoreline hold up? Well, this one's tough. On paper, I would say New Jersey because they got the offensive talent and the defense to back things up. But Carolina, believe they have the most goals among defensemen in the league. They have got 2 new defensemen who scored 18 goals apiece in Brent Burns and Brady Shea. That's something to think about. But when you take into account the injuries to Andrei Svechnikov, Max Pacioretty, and Teuvo Teravainen, it's going to make things harder for Carolina to head to the Eastern Conference Finals. So maybe New Jersey has the edge.
I'm going to go right with you, and I'm going to say New Jersey in 6 for all the reasons that you mentioned alongside the injuries for Carolina. I love their defensive structure, and I know this isn't something in the moment because I figured that this could be a series that could be the most intriguing, even though I took the Rangers in 5. New Jersey's certainly going to flip that on its head. But I'd have to continue to say, just like with the Kraken and the Stars now, New Jersey getting in the second round, they're going to look dangerous. Florida's going to look dangerous as well against Toronto. I know Redbox is very happy on that side with the Maple Leafs, but it should be a lot of fun. But, yeah, I'm going to go with New Jersey with the edge against Carolina.
Yeah, I have to say I got Toronto and Carolina, I think, coming out of this. I think all around, I think Carolina's been a little bit more consistent. New Jersey's been very good when they've been good, but I think this is Carolina's time. I think it's Toronto, Carolina, Eastern Conference Final. I think we'll get past the Panthers just fine. I'm worried, but not to the extent I would be if we were playing Boston.
Is that just because of the Boston Ghosts?
was probably one of the best NHL teams, regular season teams of all time. That of course, is going to be debated in the sports, the hockey community for years. But no, I definitely think this Boston team, and we wouldn't have had home either. And home matters in Toronto. Home matters.
Yeah, I'd give you that. I'm just going to go ahead and take this a step further. I know all the Carolina fans, if they hear this, they're going to be mad at me. But if it did go Toronto, Carolina, I would easily say Toronto would play the smackdown on Carolina and go to the finals.
And I know Redbox discussed previously that he wants a Toronto-Edmonton final. That would be the first all-Canadian final since, I believe, 1989.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be a long time for that. There'd be a lot of scoring and highlight reel plays, I would imagine, on that side between those two. Look more like a video game. And I don't know if, as I always say this, Alec, on that side, I think the Oilers are good, but I just don't know if you win a lot of games in the playoffs by scoring 6 goals. That's why I just don't buy into them as much as people would like to. I'd buy more into Toronto because even though they have all those same high personnel, you can still lock things down on defense, and Samsonov has been pretty good.
You know, if the Leafs manage to go to the Stanley Cup final, I could see this team as a team of destiny.
Yes.
Well, the thing with the Oilers, too, of course, they got to play the technical one seed now in the West. This really shouldn't. This is why the NHL needs serious playoff performance. This should have been a conference final. But so should Toronto Boston. If it was to happen. But I think Edmonton, I think they can get through Vegas. I think they've got, again, I know everyone's not super hot. McDavid hasn't been as hot as he was in the regular season. But Draisaitl stepped up where McDavid has slowed down. I've been very impressed with him. I haven't caught all the games because often I'm half asleep by 9 o'clock Central Time. But from what I've seen, Draisaitl has absolutely stepped up where McDavid maybe has been lacking a little bit. He's still been putting in the assists, but he hasn't been scoring as prolifically as he was during the regular season.
And you guys on that side, especially Alec, you can comment on the question of it because I think that's more by design because as McDavid and the rest of the Oilers average about 4 goals a game in the regular season, when they played their Pacific Division counterpart in the LA Kings, it was more 210, 230. They just kind of had that book. I don't think that that's going to continue for Connor McDavid.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time until McDavid has a breakout performance like what he did last year. Whether it be between him or Leon Draisaitl, it's just a matter of time before they break out. You can only contain him for so long if you're in LA or Vegas.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it, like I said, in between the goaltending. I know we talked about this a little bit in the first intermission between Stuart Skinner and Laurent Brossoit. That's going to be something to watch. And again, I gave a lot of credit for Brossoit as far as that first round. If he continues to play like that and Vegas continues to roll those 4 lines, they could have a lot to say as far as the Western Conference Final. They certainly look good. I thought the Jets had a chance, but as we talk about, there's been too many injuries on that end for that to ever subside. But let me ask you this, Alec, on this side. I know it was a 45-second presser. I know that you were listening between Cooper Hopkins and I yesterday about the Rick Bowness comments. But what did you think about those?
Man, he was harsh on his team. That's what I thought about. He was harsh on his team about the effort that he put up. And, you know, in a sense, Blake Wheeler had a right to be mad at Bowness because based on how harsh he was. But at the same time, Bowness may also have an argument on that because everything they said, it made perfect sense.
I don't think he was too harsh. He just went about it the wrong way. He didn't address the players first. He went right to the media. And this was, of course, the players ended up going to local media. Well, I'm not here in Winnipeg, but I'm close enough to Winnipeg to get all the local news and all that. And I don't think he necessarily was wrong. In fact, I think he was totally correct. But that's something you address in the locker room first, and then you go to the media. You got. I'm all for taking it out on your players when they have a bad game like that. Just you got to do that first before you take it out in front of the cameras.
Yeah.
It does make me wonder, because again, we got the news today for the Flames with Daryl Sutter. We already knew that about Brad Treliving on the other end. I thought Cooper brought a great point up to this yesterday. Kind of does make you wonder if Rick Bowness and Kevin Shoveldayoff are on their last end of days, doesn't it?
I think so. Yeah, the other days may be numbered in Winnipeg. Just like the same way that Brad Treliving and Daryl Sutter's days were numbered over in Calgary. And now I wonder who their new GM and coach would be. There were some fans that were suggesting Craig Conroy as GM and Mitch Love as head coach.
Well, who was it the Jets were trying to lure to Winnipeg a few years ago? Oh, jeez.
I can't remember that.
They tried to lure him with like free beer for life or something. It was a gag, but I think they actually thought they would get him. It was something.
Well, the only thing for Barry Trotz, they tried to get him to come back home, but now
Yeah,
he's back in Nashville as the GM, right?
Yeah, he's going to be the GM of the Nashville Predators. Kind of a shocker to me because I expected more of a head coaching role for him. But this is his first time being the GM.
Yeah, we'll see, because honestly, I know some people like to make fun, and sometimes I do, about the participation banners that Nashville likes to roll up there, but they're always a team that's in the playoffs. They sold at the deadline. They did very well recouping a ton of assets, and they're just always around this thing.
Speaking of selling, what are your thoughts on what Florida's doing for their second round series home games?
I think that might come back to bite them right in the butt.
You know, it's a tactic to lure more Leafs fans into
Yes.
Minneapolis Live Arena. Because sometimes it just comes back to bite you.
Here's my philosophy. Okay, here's what I think they should do. So Florida's banning Canadians. Okay, let's cut those equalization payments that you get from Toronto's revenues from the Panthers, and we'll see how they fare after that. I don't think too well. I think the NHL should do that. They won't, obviously, but I think that would show them just how much Toronto and all the other Canadian teams actually prop up these southern franchises.
They do on that side, Redbox, and I think what you'll do is you'll get your answer on the other end as far as Toronto probably advancing. I think you'll get the ultimate payback. So, Alec, it's up to you. I'll let you take the third if you want. If not, I'll take it. You can leave it up to chance, whatever you want to do.
All right. I'll be taking this one as well, if you allow.
Sure.
All right. So 2-0 New Jersey heading into this third period. The Rangers have 20 minutes to answer back with 2 goals. The money line currently is at plus 750 for Caesars Sportsbook. And for the Rangers, minus 1,400 for the Devils. Vladimir Tarasenko, Mika Zibanejad, and Chris Kreider on the ice. Game 7 history, the team that leads by 2+ goals is 127-13. Ryan Lindgren will collect this. No, he will just lead this on behind for Patrick Kane. And now he's a stretch pass up the middle for Artemi Panarin. These two were teammates in Chicago Cruising. Pass right back for Kane. He just missed the net. Rebound going to Panarin. Pass it back for Trouba. Pass just missed for Miller, and he'll be left leaving this onto the high spot for Ted here on a 2-on-1 for the Devils. Here's Jack Hughes shooting. And a block in front up high to the face was Trouba. And the Rangers get this out. Man, that has a sting, because that block might have been near the nose. And now the Devils maybe have iced this puck, which they will. Ouch, what a block by Trouba.
So you got to be able to provide effort any way you can get it. At least the Rangers have done that, so they can put that as far as the gold star. But as we talked about from the first intermission, kind of a little mini rant on my end, the Rangers have got to get something going and get shots toward the net and stop being so cute. See if they can do that, make the adjustment.
It came back to bite the Bruins in their 7-game series against the Panthers. We'll see how this goes on here in the final frame of Game 7 in regulation. Another icing against the Devils. That's 2 straight for them.
So now the face-off numbers for the Devils are up to 19-12. And as we talk about the shots on goal, 18-18 is not indicative of the way that this game has gone. Shot attempts right now are about 4-1 in favor of the Devils. If you round that out, that's about as slanted as it's been, alongside giving up a shorthanded gaff on the Rangers' end.
Yeah, the Rangers and Devils. Not what you wanted if you're the Rangers. So the Devils, they're looking for third times the charm in Game 7 against the Rangers. They lost their first two, 1992 and 1994. This icing is waved off as Adam Fox tries to get this out, but this bounced off of Jesper Bratt. Fox shoves him aside and recollects. Now, bent along the far corner, almost gave this one away to Bratt. Tomas Tatar keeps his in, however. Hischier will come out. He will leave this behind for Schneider. Hischier on his tail, and now Schneider skates down in front. Schneider looking to set up things. Lisa for Tarasenko. Now here's Schneider trying to return feed for Zibanejad. That pass gets cut away. Kreider couldn't keep this in, and now this skates on out to center for the Rangers recollect. Patrick Kane back on the ice. His second line comes on there for the Rangers. Chip right in for a dump and chase, and Vinny Trocheck tries to go right after it. He gets it. Almost give it on away, but now this puck goes all the way to the Rangers at the ice, where Keandre Miller picks it up. Not the ideal game the Rangers were looking for here in Game 7 after winning Game 6 5-2. Lead pass for Artemi sends it on over for the near boards, and this will be collected over at the far side by Kane. Rangers picking this up. This bounced on around. Kane could have handled it. Ball can. He sends it up for Siegenthaler, who taps it back for Mercer. Mercer in trouble a bit as the puck is kept in by Trocheck for the moment before the Devils get this out. To go over, not enough for an icing as Miller picks this up. So more line changes for the Devils here as Miller will keep Nate Bastian watching by his movements for Nico. Nico holding for the near boards as bounces on through. Schmee had trouble handling this. Siegenthaler placed on around for the far boards, and the Devils sweep this down for the ice. It's poked on away by Nico. Michael McLeod had that one bounce off of Nico again, and now Kako picks this up. Kako sends it back. Here's Trouba. Back to go over to Filip. Back to the right to go over to Trouba, and now it's circled on through around the far to the near boards. Hamilton sends it right back with the Rangers recollect. This is Braden Schneider. Schneider sends it on over cross corner dump, and it's picked up by Siegenthaler. That on through a high stick. They whistle it dead because of that high stick by Miles Wood.
So I know they referenced this a few times on ESPN already, and I kind of glared away from it until about the fifth time. So when the Rangers in their wins in this series, they average 5 goals per game, and their losses, it's at 067 bingo numbers. They've gone completely silent.
Wow. It's just a complete turnaround whenever the Rangers have the momentum and when the Devils have the momentum. Because when the Devils winning games, it's usually the Rangers getting goal lead. But when the Rangers are winning games here in this series, they make sure to win these big. The third icing of the period against the Devils.
Yeah, you would think at some point, I know it's the beginning of the period, but the Rangers could start to take advantage of winded bodies. They're showing again Akira Schmid, the first 2 games he played, he only gave up 2 and 80 opportunities.
And last game, giving up 5 on 29. But he's having quite the turnaround on his way to getting his second shutout if this score holds up. Moved on around, and now Kevin Paul collects this in far corner, trying to get this out. Palat will lead this on through, and it's batted on through. Another foot race for it. Oh, what's this? Lindgren. The 4th time the Devils have iced the puck, and we're not even 4 minutes in.
We're almost at a minute in icing right now as the fans are up in arms. Again, it's just a simple chip and chase, and it's won there by a hustling Lindgren. But again, we will see if the Devils can start to jumpstart things a little bit. We know their defense has been locked in, but I haven't seen so many icings consecutively like this.
Me neither. This feels like, I don't know what to describe it. Here's a quick shot stopped by Schmee. He turned away Vladimir Tarasenko in tight. Jack Hughes watched on in tight as well. Through the near boards of the cycle on through to the far side. Eric Holla. The lead pass for Palat didn't connect. Holla tried to recollect this, and Palat will send this on over down the ice where Lindgren was on the receiving end of it. Past the 4-minute mark of the third period. It's Keandre Miller centering this through, and now Mika Zibanejad. On to the left, here's Vladimir Tarasenko. Centering for Zibanejad. Nobody was there to slot to pass it to. And the Devils get this down and out. And this is not enough for the icing. Keandre Miller picks this up. Leaves this behind as Jesper Bratt was on his tail. Trouba has the bucket his own zip on. Watched by Bratt, and he will go on to the right for Kane. He chips this in and bounces on around. Kane recollects it though. There's a drop pass right back. Schmid takes it away. And the Rangers keep this in. Miller
my goodness. Igor Shesterkin got absolutely upended near the right face-off dot. I mean, he flew in the air. And Jack Hughes, the other way, might be the one that's getting called for a penalty on goaltender interference. We have seen some of the most craziest oddities here. And between this game 7, maybe it's Keandre Miller going to the box. Now, we're going to take another look at this. So this actually nutmegs the referee. Sliding into Igor Shesterkin is one of the Devils. That was Nico Hischier.
That was Nico Hischier who lost his footing as Shesterkin was way out of his crease. Right at the left dot, the right dots, at the right side of the ice. Was Keandre Miller getting called for it as he ties up Hischier?
Alec, I don't even know what to say. I'm glad Igor Shesterkin's okay. I can't believe the hit that he just took there.
I can't believe it either. Because, man, that would have been dangerous. And now the Devils in the power play as a result. So, no goaltender interference. It's roughing. And now they get set to work here. Damon Severson over to Tomas Tatar. Shoot this block. The rebound behind the net. Mercer tries to center. It's picked up by Fox. Rangers need one badly. Here's the dump in through, and now Kreider tries to bank this in short-handed. It goes over the nets. Tatar starts being subbed. Rangers bring the pressure short-handed. Zibanejad couldn't take it away. He lost his footing. Mercer starts being subbed once again, and now is the pass on back for Timo Meier. Still looking for his first point in this series. Oh, Jacob Trouba laying the body on Timo Meier, and he's down. Oh my goodness, what a hit!
This
Jacob Trouba, man.
This is going back into the old school archives. But is that a Korea hit with Scott Stevens? Because that's exactly what it looked like for Timo Meier. Now he got up. He got his absolute bell rung as he was down for about 15 seconds. That is one of the craziest hits that I've seen. That was elbow right into face.
Oh, my. And as a result, wasn't Meier losing his glove? And Devils fans might be wanting a penalty here, but Rangers fans, of course, they're going to cheer their captain on for that physicality.
That looked every bit as the same hit when I covered the game with Cooper on that side. You remember Jacob Trouba and Nazem Kadri? And we said that was one of the biggest hits this year. Well, I raise you Jacob Trouba and Timo Meier postseason edition. What a collision.
That was quite the collision. That might be the hit of the playoffs
Yes.
so far.
There is without any doubt. That is absolutely laying the wood if you're Jacob Trouba. We know that he plays right on the edge, but that was as beautiful, as violent of a collision as you could ever get.
And you mentioned about Paul Correa, Scott Stevens. This time it's the Devils on the receiving end of a hit like that. Jack Hughes takes this in. NJ Devil playing the drum here as he gets the fancy chant. Let's go Devils. Ryan Lindgren shoots this in as Akira Schmid points out dangerously behind the net. Rangers takes it away short-handed. They're looking for a short-handed goal right back as Bratt gets shoved aside. Both teams are running afterwards. Bratt gets shoved right down by Goodrow, but the Devils collect it once again. Fans might call the penalty, but the rest don't. I think it's a good no call there. Hischier up for Bratt, and good stick in the lane there, no by that threat. Zibanejad picks this up. He'll just shoot this down. Over to Schmid on the left side of the net. Right behind is Dougie Hamilton. Hamilton looks. 35 left on the man advantage. Back this goes for Chad Hughes. Hughes skates across for the red line. Tomas Tatar skates his through right circle. Watched by Nico and gets it out for Hughes. And some bodies in the way there at the near corner. Held by that chance by Hamilton. Save by Shesterkin. Bounced off through. And over to his left as the Rangers try to clear Cook. Now they can. Eric Hollis sends us back here as Dougie Hamilton. Stretch pass over, batted off a stick of a Devil. And now Shesterkin will lead this behind for Mika. Penalty on Miller is over. Ryan Lindgren over to the left, and now Patrick Kane right in front, and Schmid handled that shot. It was a slow-moving shot. They were trying to get a tip right in front, but nothing was going there.
Yes, they were. And right out in front of you said as we get another look. Oh my goodness. In between Trouba and Meyer. That is a devastating body contact. What I was going to say is Kane's wide open in the middle of the slot. Like to see him let that one go and not second guess himself.
I'll tell you. You know the moment when you mentioned Scott Stevens and Paul Correa.
Yes.
Correa came back into that game to score a goal. So you know how this would go full circle? Meyer scoring a goal.
You know what? That would transport us back into the time machine because I remember Correa. He didn't even know where he was on the ice when he let that slap shot go. He was completely concussed and scored. And I kind of wonder if Timo Meyer is feeling even half of that because I'm not overselling this. And you can tell me if I'm wrong. That was one of the most devastating hits I've ever seen. That was definitely, as you called, the biggest one of the playoffs so far. I mean, he got all of Meyer, full speed.
He got all that one. Ouch, that has to hurt.
Man, this game is it's been a lot of fun. As frustrated as probably some Rangers fans have been as far as that lack of offense. Everything else that you could have asked for as you called into for the first two periods. You've been exactly right. This game's kind of had a little bit of everything. And then we've even seen a little bit from yesterday. You don't need a ton of goals, and the Avalanche and Kraken showed you that for a Game 7 for it to be entertaining. But I'm just wondering if at all, the Rangers can kind of swing the pendulum into their favor, because this really doesn't look like it.
Yeah, I turned on the game at the start of the seconds, and I feel like I watched the whole game with all that's going on.
No, you're right on that side. As they continue to show some of the stuff from the 94 side, now they're showing Adam Henrique of what was just a little bit later as far as that side of some of these Devils and Rangers games. And they've been really good. This rivalry has been a lot of fun.
It has been. It's taking us back through the time machine.
So the longest active droughts without a playoff series win, the Sabres in 2007 and the Devils in 2012. I think that they're about to change that. 12-23 left to go in the third. They're up by 2, and they're in good standing here.
And the second longest active drought currently stands at 11 years. The longest now is at 16, with the Buffalo Sabres last winning the series in 2007 against the New York Rangers in 5 games. Game 5, they tied the game up with 7 seconds left. Chris Drury, the Rangers GM, then player for the Buffalo Sabres, was the one tying it up. And then Maxim again finished that with a power play blast on the point. Here's the Devils from their own zone, trying to clear. Rangers couldn't hold it in, and now Adam Fox has to chase it down. Igor Shesterkin places out Keandre Miller. Well, Aaron is all the way to center and now over to the Devils' end where Dougie Hamilton will recollect things up. 11:53 to play. Devils trying to get one more up and going. Patrick Kane settles things down. Kane is Oden. He's with Miller. Kane still holding on to it. Across the goal, Miller has it. Miller will feed Zibanejad up forward, and now he'll send this on around Hamilton. Schmid is standing there. He'll place out Siegenthaler, got blasted right through, and one Ranger went down with him. That was an absolute monster hit. And now Ryan Lindgren will come right out. Shesterkin way out of his crease. He'll lead the time for Lindgren. He'll return there. Still, the air squad shots 11-1 in favor of the Devils. That has not changed since the second period. John Marino couldn't clear this out. The puck goes right back to him. Over the near corner, he'll feed Ryan Graves behind the net. Now it comes out to the right point. Devils trying to start things up. Here's Tomas Tatar handling this down. Across for Graves. Back for Marino. 10:53. Lead pass is popped over the stick of Nico Hischier. Over to go for Schneider with Nate Bastian watching. Nico tried to clear, and he does so. Severson will backhand it along over the ball, and now advanced on further to Mercer, but the Rangers take this back. Shots 21-19 Rangers, but the Devils controlling the pace of play throughout this game. One Devil got manhandled, and this is Jimmy Beasley keeping this down and in. Barclay Goudreau sandwiched behind the boards, and now it's going over to Schneider. Schneider looking to send one deflection out front, and a turnaround shot gets turned away by Schmid. Ball bracing himself for contact. trying to break free again, tries to get this up. Kago was there. Now on forward, here's Lafreniere. Lafreniere backhands this through, and now this is Jack Hughes. Hughes made his palm through, and now another Devil loses an edge. Hughes tries to get this out. When he does so, will this be an icing? Yes. The fifth time they have iced the puck in the third period.
This has been a devastating game as far as hits. And I understand if you're the Rangers, you want to sell out on offense. Shesterkin, he's been an absolute brick wall. I know he's given up 2, but he should have given up a hell of a lot more at this point. They're trying to press, and the Rangers still can't get in the offensive end. They just continue to give up chances.
This feels like the Henrik Lundqvist and Mike Richter era all over again if you're the New York Rangers if this keeps up. Rangers pick this up. They need 2 to tie here, past the halfway mark, up the third period. Jonas Siegenthaler having trouble with the puck, is tied up by Vinny Trocheck. Tries to clear this out, could not. It's held up by Trocheck once again. Trocheck looks to send it down low. There's one shot. Trocheck has been all over the Devil's end. But now here's Miles Wood on the other side. Wood waits. Easy kick saved by Shesterkin. Now the Rangers pick this back up once again. Rangers skating this in. Here's a one-timer Trocheck, guys! A glove save by Akira Smith! I thought it went in for a moment. How did he stop that one? He
tracked that beautifully. It was a sauce pass from the bread man. Trocheck, one-knee, one-timer. He couldn't lift it, but it was amongst the trees. Able to snatch that with the glove. That was a terrific answer for Schmid. And just in case I was giving all my credit for Igor Shesterkin, Schmid says, hold my puck on that side because he stops a beautiful one. And I am going to say this, Alec, on this side. I know it's half jokingly. And I know Shesterkin's paid very well. And I know the Rangers have been a very good offensive team, but they've been shut down and look like Jekyll and Hyde. Is there any point that you think about if this series ends the way that it's going to? Shesterkin's got to be frustrated at the way that it's just been over his end constantly. He might just say, you know what? Screw this. I want to go to Edmonton.
Well, that will give Connor McDavid the goaltending boost that he would desperately need. I don't know when his contract expires, but it's coming at fair value. Just a $5 million cap hit.
Right.
For a top 3 going to the league as well.
I mean, this guy, he's played incredible. And again, I understand what the score line is with 2-0 for the Devils, but how many 2-on-1s has it been? There's been about 5 of them, and Shesterkin stopped them all. And even he's had to go back into the right side down, make these long outstretched passes, and take a slide from Nico Hischier. I mean, he's been roughed up like crazy. The least the Rangers could do is try to get this in the other end. Trocheck gave a good opportunity. But, I mean, that's the best one they've had in about 25 minutes of game time.
Yeah, it's been the best one. And not to mention the constant breakaways that the Rangers gave as well.
No, it's ludicrous. That's not the way that it's you're going to win games. And I thought you hit the nail on the head. And you guys have all talked about it in the sense of whether you want to think about it between Chris Drury and Gerard Gallant. I understand. I think Vegas probably pulled the trigger away from Gerard a little too quickly. But the Rangers, this is something that's going to make you take a look in the mirror. We know how good the Devils are, but you can't play like this and expect to win a series.
Howdy there, fellas. I know I'm joining in late, but actually I heard someone say that at this point, Gallant is running out of ideas. If you look at some of his line deployments now, he's just trying to he's teamed up Kane, Panarin, and Miller as the offensive pairings.
It's a line combination that doesn't really make any sense, putting a defenseman on the second line. And now Mika Zibanejad looks to advance his murder here is Vladimir Tarasenko. Tarasenko looks to tuck it to his backhand, gets poked on away. Adam Fox had that one taken out away, and a good poke there by the Devils to keep it out. Here's a shot that bounced off a body right in front, and now here's Nico Hischier. Hischier over the back pass for Jesper Bratt on a partial breakaway. Gets it right back for Hischier, and the pass to Bratt doesn't connect. Bratt's backhander off for Andre Palat. Why did that hit the post? Andre Palat with a great chance to make it 3-0, and it bounced off the post. I know my voice is cracking, but, as the intensity of playoff hockey, everyone. Jonas taking forward. Clean pass for Eric Holla. And this is cycled on the rounds to go over to Trouba. Trouba dodged one check, and now this is Kako. Kako, backhands along, Philip Chytil. Chytil along for Lafreniere, and the return feed doesn't work. Jack Hughes was there, and now here's Kako. Kako smothered in tight, and now gets it right back around. This will go over to Lafreniere behind the net. There's a stick lift there to nullify that. Lindgren goes over to Trouba, and now just bounced off of Kako's stick. Siegenthaler couldn't clear. It's held in by Kako. Gets it out for Chytil. A shot stopped by Smee, and he'll cover this up with 7:09 left in regulation.
Here's the other thing, too. I know it's small, and Keandre Miller, he got a shot block after Pelagius hit the post. The stick is right over to the right side. He elects to not go over to it. He's near the other side of the dot. He's just kind of skating there doing nothing. He didn't even go over for a change as Shesterkin was under siege, and that just seemed like the wrong body language. And on the other end, Akira Schmidt, anytime the puck goes to him, he just stops it nonchalant. The Devils know they're about 7:09 away from taking out the Rangers. Maybe not everybody else believed in them. Maybe I got that one wrong, but they've looked like the better team through the 7 games so far.
They do, especially in games 3 for 5 when you look at things. Where Schmidt has been very sharp.
Yes.
Arguably the best goalie of the entire playoffs.
Absolutely.
Here's Vinny, Trocheck, and Michael McLeod in the circle. One by Trocheck was on help from Kane. There's a shot that gets blocked in front. The rebound is collected by Kevin Ball. Hit a rep right in front, and now the Rangers keep this in. Artemi Panarin chasing right after that feed from Kane. Brady Schneider struggling to keep this in. It's held in for the moment. Both teams are poking at it. Devils get this out. And now it's a foot race to it. Adam Fox picks this up. 6:45 to go in regulation. Brady Schneider fakes the pass, now gets it up for Kane. Watched by Hischier. Excuse me. It's the far corner. It's stripped on the way by Hischier. Devils couldn't clear, and now both teams whacking at it. Picked up by Keandre Miller. He'll shoot this on over for the near boards. This goes to the far side for Marino. Tries to stick this out, and this will go over to the Devils bench.
So the one thing I will say, if you're the New Jersey Devils and you're going to go ahead and play against the Carolina Hurricanes, just don't expect that you're going to be getting constant 2-on-1s the other way against Rod Brendamore's system. They absolutely deserve everything and all of the marks. It should be a great series against Carolina, but it's definitely going to be a lot more sound defensively.
It is. Now, Hischier and Zibanejad at the faceoff circle. Move whacking at it. This time it is New York again. Miller's shot is blocked. Bouncing on his way over to the near boards. Bratt gets this out. Going over to Miller. Miller still holding on to it. Tatar watching. Stretch pass over, and this will go to Zibanejad. He gets tied up by Hischier. Feed on over to the right for Marino. Marino shoots this down. This will go over where Trouba is. Behind the net. Up front, Tarasenko. Tarasenko will drop this back over to Trouba as Tarasenko goes for a change. And new bodies will go on out. Trouba will hold on to this. He's fighting with Graves for the puck. Graves looked like he got it for a moment, but now it's anyone's puck. Andre Palat trying to help out, and now here comes Jack Hughes. Another 2-on-1 for the Devils. There's a 3-on-1. One time and they score! Eric Holla, the Hall of Famer. 3-0 New Jersey.
It's a 3-on-1. You called it aptly on that side. How do you expect Igor Shesterkin to have to continue to stand on his head? He was able to explode right out of a cannon, delivers it right across from a dot-to-dot feed. Holla finishes it off as easy as you like. It looks just like clockwork on the other end. And the New Jersey Devils are going to be moving on to playing the Carolina Hurricanes. If I'm Igor Shesterkin, honestly, Alec, I feel bad for him in this game. He does not deserve anything like this.
He does not, absolutely. He deserves a lot better than this effort that the Rangers are putting up. It feels like, if you look at it, it feels like the Henrik Lundqvist days all over again.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah. You know what, though? He's probably not going to do it, but if I'm Igor Shesterkin, I have every right to rip the rest of the team, to rip the rest of my team to shreds.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you, Ian.
And already Rangers fans are leaving.
They're showing all the Rangers fans. They're trying to get out of there.
And I don't want to sound hyperbolic, and I know you got to get back to the play-by-play here, Alec, but this is a disgusting effort for an Original Six franchise.
This is just straight up disappointing, especially given in the conference finals run that they had last year. But they proved last year that you don't have to have the most experienced team to go on a deep run.
Yeah.
And the Devils are giving them a taste of their own medicine.
Yes, they are. That's perfectly called by you.
Final 5 minutes in regulation. It's been loud in here after that third goal by Eric Halla. And I mean loud. There's some Rangers fans still at their seats witnessing their team trying to put up something here in the hopes of a miracle. Yet another, oh no, this is not another 2-on-1, but Jesper Bratt had a chance and just was there for the save. It would have been a 2-on-1 had this man stayed with it the whole way. Been a lot of 2-on-1s the Rangers have given up. There's too much to count, along with those breakaways. Officially 4:30 to go. And the Devils flip this down. It's Keandre Miller with the puck. Strike passage was too far for his man, and Kira Schmid is putting on a wave on the Rangers here as they ice this.
And I'm going to say great job by you, Alex, so far. I know you called the second and third period. I've been heavily worked across this week, and you've definitely picked me up on that side. I knew we had to cover this Game 7. I thank you for reaching out. The only disappointing part is I wish I would have gave you something more exciting because I know it's been all one-sided. The Devils fans are going to be utterly elated, but I can't ever recall. I know we've all watched a lot of hockey collectively of one goaltender having to face against so many breakaways. It honestly feels like a team practice.
Hey, John, I can tell you, I can give you a perfect example
Go ahead.
of this kind of play happened. Last year, the Blues versus the Avalanche, where literally the Blues would score, and then their strategy was to have their goalie stand on his head and pitch a shutout. Like, this is, like, when I was watching that series, I was screaming at the TV, score more goals off of 102 every single time. It is not sustainable.
No, that's a good call by you. Again, that was a series last year where I thought St. Louis, they played like they had a chance against Colorado. They were the ones that actually gave them a stiffer test. There was a sweep against the Oilers and the Nashville Predators. The Nashville Predators didn't have a chance without Saros, but that's a good call by you on that side. I just can't help but think, again, I want to make sure I give full marks to the New Jersey Devils. They definitely took this from the Rangers. They deserve to be going forward, but this has got to be. We talk about the most disappointing things in between the Bruins or the Avalanche. Dare I say it, from the way that this game is played, I think my most disappointing would be the Rangers right now in this moment because they had all the trades. You had Tarasenko, Kane, you had all the experience, you had Shesterkin, and they just did not show up.
Definitely not in this game. Despite them doing everything possible, Kane and Tarasenko were putting up points in the earlier games.
Yes.
I believe Kane, he's third on the team in points at 6 in this series.
Yeah, he's got
So he's not averaging a point per game at the end of this game, but still, 6 points and for on the team. You'd expect more from him in Game 7.
Yeah, a goal and 5 assists. I mean, someone else has to carry the weight too.
And you mentioned Tarasenko, who is 4 points, those being 3 goals and 1 assist. There's Akira Schmid making yet another save with 4:04 left in the game.
You guys made some good calls as far as coaching on the other side for Gerard, Gallant, and some of these other things. I know it's New Jersey shutting all down. It's going to be the Akira Schmid show the whole way. He's going to get his second shutout possibly. So Shesterkin will be going in there for the empty net, pulling all the stops. But I kind of wonder with those personnel changes if their power play looks a little bit different because they haven't really exploded in this series either.
No, they haven't. Just 1 for their last 20. And they haven't scored in 14 straight power plays either. So they go with 6 skaters now. Panarin looks. Still looking. Sends it back. Here's Kane over to Fox. Over to Zibanejad. One-timer blocked right in front. They're poking at it. Kreider over to Panarin. on through to Tarasenko, and now Fox once again. Sends it down low once again, and now Tarasenko gets it to Panarin and on back over to the far corner. Tarasenko on his knees gets it up for Kane and on back here. Zibanejad, that shot that was kicked on away by Schmid. Now Panarin tries to backhand this along. The Devils look to the empty net, is bouncing on through, and this will not go. Jesper Bratt nullifies the icing, and there's an dagger.
Yep, there it is. You know, John, so I've been watching Hischier and the way he's been just a beast like this, and I know I'm being a bit of a homer here, but this really does remind me of when Jordan Binnington took over as goalie in 2019, and he came out and he was a wall.
You're not wrong. I mean, on the same side, when you think about Carolina and Cam Ward, did he do something similar like this?
He did something similar in 2006.
This is a
right. Cam Ward when the Hurricanes won the cup, that was probably the best season of his career. Actually, it was the best season of his career.
It was 2006. Maybe you can throw 2009 up for discussion in the other time where he made the playoffs in his Hurricanes career, or they went to the Eastern Conference Final.
Yeah, you can. I know we get the sarcastic chants of Igor there. I think when I get into the Rangers locker room, I'm chanting Igor, and I'm also apologizing to him and buying him a steak.
Man, this feels like a depressing effort by the Rangers.
Yeah.
Less than 3 minutes to play here. There's a shot that's blocked. That was Andre Gallant taking that. Here's Jack Hughes saying this down into the Rangers' end. 2:45 left to play here in this game. Some more line changes coming. And I wonder what the Rangers are going to do in the offseason. What do they do with Tarasenko, Kane, and the other pending free agents? 2:30 left. The Devils fans have not left here. They're on their feet. They're chanting, I think they're chanting Akira here, as there's 2:20 left. They're both battling for the puck right now, and the Devils are looking to run out more clock. 2:10. Now it's poked on away over to the near corner. Kako. Some slick moves there, tries to wrap it around. Chytil pokes at it, and Schmid doesn't know where it is. Doesn't snow Nico for a moment in the final 2 minutes. And it's sent off through the locker in the air. Shoot, save, and the rebound is swept on away. More Rangers fans leave the crowd. 1:45 left. Keandre Miller skating things up, and he's watched by McLeod, backhanding this through. Knocks off several bodies and poked on away by Marino. It's a tie-up over at the far corner, and this goes over to Sharangovich. Igor Sharangovich having trouble with it. Goes to Marino once again. Michael McLeod again having trouble with this. And just to note, John Marino was on the losing end of last year's Game 7 series against the Rangers. This series on the winning end. This time on a different team. Last year with the Penguins, this year with the Rangers, as Schmid makes another save on a backhander by Tyler Mott.
I know this is a small thing, but we have to note this as far as the TV cast. The building at Prudential looks half empty, but that's only because all of the Rangers fans have walked out in disgust as the Devils are up 4-0 with 1:10 left to go in the third. This looks like a disemboweling. It's kind of like a Kano move in Mortal Kombat when you rip out the heart and finish it off. That's exactly what they did to the Rangers.
Kano wins. Yeah.
Tell me,
I'm getting flashbacks in the bubble. I'm getting flashbacks to the bubble when the Columbus Blue Jackets shut out the Maple Leafs in Game 5. Like this is just pathetic. You have all this I'm going to say what Tree said, but for the Rangers, you have all this forward talent, but you can't even score a goal.
I mean, what is this Rangers?
No.
I just gotta say,
absolutely reamed for this, because we've already said multiple times, but you left Igor out there to die. You provided no support on the defense or the offense. Adam Fox was nowhere to be seen. Your trade deadline acquisitions in this game were absolutely useless.
Finish out the last 20, Alec. Let's call it.
All right. I'll leave it to the crowd is chanting Igor. 20 seconds left as this puck bounces around. And the fans still on their feet here, cheering on their team. There's a potential series on the line here, and both teams will elect to run it out. The New Jersey Devils say, meet us in Carolina.
Alec, I'm going to tell you this right now. I know Ian said it, and I thought he said it beautifully as well. This might not be the same shocker, and I don't think I was being too crazy to saying that, as the Kraken and the Avalanche were decided between Florida and Boston. But this was certainly the worst game that I've ever seen a top team play against another. This is the worst one I've ever seen. And this has got to be one of the darkest days here for the Rangers. I know it sounds crazy because it's just the first round, but I mean, they got their faces kicked in this game. Nobody did a damn thing besides Igor Shesterkin, and there's going to be a lot of questions. I'd hate to go into that locker room, but if you're the Devils, sip that champagne, enjoy it. You get a chance to go ahead and play Carolina, where I think, even for as good as Carolina is in their defensive structure, the Devils, they're going to have a lot to say as far as kicking that door down. They looked really good. This isn't just because they played against a meleaguered Rangers offense at times, and when they lost, they scored .67 goals, and that's gone down even more, gentlemen, because they got shut out 4-0 in this game. So a lot of storylines, but what are you thinking after this is all said and done before we close out?
Well, what I'm thinking, and I don't know if you'll get this reference, John, but I know Alec will. Death has a face, and it will forever be bald.
No, yeah. You're talking about 5 points bids, if I'm guessing.
You know he's pissed.
Yeah, I know the reaction's gonna be bad from him, but the rest of the Rangers fans, I know some of my friends who are Rangers fans, and I know they're not gonna be pleased with the result. One of my previous roommates is a Devils fan, and he's gonna be thrilled about this.
I hope, the one thing I will say this, I hope that people don't look at Akira Schmidt and be like, well, he owns Igor Shesterkin because he's got 2 shutouts. Because there's going to be some dummies that go out there and say that. If you're Shesterkin, I challenge any goaltender, whether you're Patrick Waugh or anyone else, to save, I don't know, maybe 7 2-on-1s, 2 3-on-1s, flat out 1-on-1s, breakaways. That was pathetic. And as Ian said, if I'm Shesterkin, I know he's very mild-mannered like Lundqvist, and that was a good call by your part. But I just don't know what to say on that end because I'm furious. I mean, the play essentially was in his own end from the start. We noted it in the first period, Alec, didn't we? It was about stretches of the first 8 out of 10 minutes were all in New York's zone, and it never ended. It never stopped.
It never did. And you got to wonder if Gerard Gallant is going to stay here for next season. You got to wonder what changes it's going to make. Because some of your pieces are free agents, including Tarasenko and Kane. You're likely not going to keep both. They're going to ask for new contracts the next season. Plus, you have several players that you need to resign. Who do you keep and who do you let go?
Yeah, because you got Mika Zibanejad, you got Chris Kreider, you got some Artemi Panarin to think about. All that's locked in. And on that side, I know this is just a small thing, and it's hard to answer right now. But does a result like this, Alec and Ian, make you think about not taking so many home run swings at the deadline? Because if you miss, you're going to pay dearly.
Well, Well, see, well, so here's what I do agree with you, John. You know, maybe one home run swing. Like if the Rangers had just gotten Tarasenko and Mika and then flushed out the depth for the rest of their trades, I feel like they would have been a more balanced team. But they paid not just one premium, but two.
Yeah.
For not only Tarasenko and Mika, but for Patrick Kane. And look, I love Patrick Kane. Okay, when I was younger, you know, my family on my dad's side, they all live up in Chicago. They're all Blackhawks fans. So I got to watch Kane in his prime when hockey season was on. When hockey season was on, the Blackhawks were on, and that was so I got to see Kane in his prime. But the fact of the matter is, the analytics did not support the analytics, and apparently they were proven right. They did not support what Kane was expected to bring. They did not support that. If you want to look at a team that made, if you want to look at two teams that did it right at the deadline, in my opinion, you look at Vegas, who didn't do anything crazy. All they did was that goaltending depth, and for the tail end of the regular season, it appeared that Jonathan Quick he basically rose from the grave. But also, look at what the Dallas Stars did. They didn't do anything crazy. Their most notable trade acquisition was Max Domi for scoring depth. And look, they're in the second round.
Yeah. No, you're right about that. Alec, if you're still with me, I just want to get your thoughts. What do you think about the home run moves for New York?
At the time, it made sense, but now there is a valid point on Kane's metrics not backing that up. He's a liability defensively. They're trying to load up on offense with scoring talent and Kane and Tarasenko. At the time, it made sense. But now, you look at the free agent situation. Tarasenko and Kane are both UFAs. So is Tyler Mott and Nico. Mikla. Keandre Miller and Alexei Lafreniere are RFAs.
Oh.
You have to figure out your backup goalie situation. Who do you call up? Or who do you go after? Do you keep Yaroslav Halak? Do you go after a backup goalie in the free agency market? Do you call up one of your minor league goalies in Dylan Garand or anyone there? What do you do, Rangers?
Yeah, it's hard to wonder because, again, I know you mentioned this from the very beginning of it, of the power play. I mean, they were about 1 for 21 in this series on the power play. And if you go back to last year for the Rangers, you have a top 3 unit at worst, and they just look lost when they had the additions there of Tarasenko and Kane. I know Tarasenko had a hot about first 7-8 games where he had about 7 or 8 points on that side. But as you said, between Kane being a liability, certainly everybody was a liability in that game. You went out for all-out offense, and you accomplished nothing, and you almost got your goaltender injured in the process. So, yeah, there's going to be a long look in the mirror.
From 2 Rangers players, kept it in their zone, and that gave, and I'm just going, you have 2 guys on him. There are 2 Rangers on 1 Devils player, and somehow the Devils player is the one that comes out with the puck.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing the math. The math is not adding up. The numbers are not adding up.
By all accounts, it doesn't make sense.
No, and when I'm going to close this out now, but I'm going to tell you this. Between all the numbers, it doesn't make sense. I'll make sure I tweet you guys out. Thank you for joining on the broadcast side of it, because the numbers don't speak about what happened here today. It was like someone dropped a bomb on the Rangers and blew everything away. The Devils are going to be playing the Hurricanes, and we will see how that goes because it says Devils outscored the Rangers by a combined 13-2 in their 4 wins. So as Alex said in the opening, when the Rangers won, it's because they won the lottery and scored a ton of goals. And when they didn't win, their offense was completely non-existent. I will catch up with you guys in a couple days. Thank you for joining with me on the broadcast, and we will talk soon, gentlemen.
Hey, thank you. Good night.
Yeah, we'll see you. Well, we gave it as much of a try, and I tried to call it as much down the middle as I could on this one. But if you're a Rangers fan, it's rough. I know for me, I'm a Red Wings fan on that side, so I don't have any allegiances to any of these teams, but it's not often when I go ahead and just give out the mass SmackDown side of it between the Rangers, but I felt like I had to. And I also tried to go ahead and say I give all the credit in the world to the New Jersey Devils and Akira Schmid and everything else that they've done, but I am very hard-pressed to find a team that laid an egg more than the Rangers tonight. I'm going to be back in a couple of days, and we will get stuff squared away in the second round, whether it's alongside Alec Nava, whether it's alongside Cooper Hopkins. We will get that all squared away, and we will talk soon. Thank you for joining me, everybody. We will catch up in a couple of days.